Welcome in, Bama Nation. Welcome in, everybody. Horrible, horrible, horrible loss. Horrible feeling. Man, we talked so much. We did everything. And to go down like that, my God, it hurts. It hurts.
Coach, can we go uncensored?
Coach Jay, go ahead, man. Take your rant. Go ahead, bro.
Can we are we uncensored or do we got to keep it PG?
I'm not sure, man. I don't know where to go right now. This is crazy, bro. But welcome in, everybody. Hold on, before we do that, let's welcome in everybody to the chat. We got plenty of Michigan fans, I'm sure, want to come in and talk they noise, which is well deserved. They definitely outplayed this Alabama Crimson Tide team today by the by a score of 27-20 in overtime in the Rose Bowl. Man, go ahead, Coach Jay. You take it away, man. What's up, Coach Sean? Welcome in, bro.
What's up, bro?
Well, before I begin my rant, I want to congratulate all the Michigan fans. I want to congratulate the Michigan Wolverines, Jim Harbaugh, Blake Corum, that offensive line, that defense. They were absolutely ruthless. We got out physical in the first half. I mean, pretty much we got dominated in the first half, but we kept it close because of their own mistakes. We tried our best in the second half. We did a really good job controlling the third quarter. Fourth quarter, we had plenty of opportunities to put the game away, and we just couldn't really do it. So shout out to Michigan. That's a resilient team. They fought close towards the end. So hats off to him. Carlos, I know Carlos and Mike. I know those guys. I think Mike was in our chat.
Mike been in the chat the whole game.
Mike's been in our chat. Carlos he's been talking a lot of trash for last week, man. But like I said, this is his moment. This is a lot of the Michigan fans' moment, so congratulations to you guys. And so hats off to you guys. And like I said, go ahead and get a natty, win that natty, man. So, but no, I mean the same crap that we seen from the Texas game, missed opportunities, miscommunication from the defensive side of the ball. The play calling was it was just up and down. It was up and down, spotty. Seth McLaughlin, I talked about this all week long. Seth McLaughlin was the weak link of this offensive line. And if we're going to lose a game, and if we're going to lose the line of scrimmage, it was going to be because of Seth McLaughlin. And that's exactly what happened tonight. 90% of the snaps were literally low snaps. It was either too high or too low. You couldn't make it up. But that's been the entire season. But it wasn't just Seth McLaughlin. Tyler Booker had an okay game. He got whipped in pass pro. He made some adjustments in the second half. But it wasn't just him. It was a lot of miscommunication from our offensive line. I felt like the only good one today was J.C. Latham. If we're just talking about an overall consistent game, receivers couldn't even really get into the routes because of how much we were getting pressure and how much they were collapsing the pocket. Why we didn't roll out Jalen Burrow is beyond me. Why we didn't try to change the pass protection is beyond me. Why some of these receiving concepts that were developed, I simply did not like. And then most importantly, when they did scheme him open, Jalen Murrow once again can't find the underneath. He can't find it. And if we would have won this game, whoever would have won between Texas and Washington, the same issues would have occurred the next game. He can't see it. He can't read it. And who knows? Hopefully he can develop that next week. But for the most part, guys, miscommunication, penalties, every single time in the fourth quarter when we had plenty of momentum and we looked like we were going to score a touchdown, a freaking false start or illegal formation would happen and we would get set back. That would set the change and change the flow of the game. We did not play our best game today. And the one thing that I talked about, and let's be honest, I'm going to call out some of you Bama fans because I got criticized all over social media when I tried to give my takes about Michigan. I told you that defensive line was ruthless. I told you that front seven was good. I told you that the back end of their secondary was not going to change out of zone, that they were going to be disciplined and make Jalen Murrow beat them. I told you that Michigan's offensive line was going to be improved. I told you that this receiving core was going to make challenges. And I told you that J.J. McCarthy was going to make critical throws in crucial moments. And I told you that Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, that's a good running back duo. I told you that Blake Corum was better than some of these SEC running backs. But I kept saying, but no, we want to have the SEC bias point out there and not give Michigan their fair due. And I got called the Michigan fan. I got called the Michigan fan from a lot of you Bama fans out there. It's not all of you in this chat, but you know who you are that called me out all throughout social media. Listen, I'm not trying to be this optimistic type person. I'm trying to visualize what I'm seeing from the film, right? Just because they play in the Big Ten doesn't mean that they can't play football. So I hope that we can learn our lesson that simply SEC conference dominance does not always factor into these situations. So it is what it is. Hats off to Michigan. And that's all I got. That's all I got to say. We played like absolute crap. This is exactly the result that we get. We didn't deserve to win this game.
This is one of those things, man, where I think all of us, our ending points was if Alabama didn't show up, Michigan would win this game. Simple as that. Literally, the opportunities was there the whole game. Same thing we said about Texas game, especially on the offensive side, man. Miro, my God, man, them early sacks he took after that second one, bro. You got to know the ball got to come out quick, and your tight end and your slot receiver are coming off, your running backs are coming off, they're passing the line of scrimmage, turning their heads, and you're not looking at them because you're stuck on your first read. And AJ Maverick said, we can't pass the ball. It's not that we can't pass the ball, it's that he gets stuck on that first read for so long. And why when we're working from inside out and the passing game is starting to work for him and it's starting to process, why does he go back to keying the perimeter back to the inside when we're literally not giving him any time? Your inside pass game is working. The inside run game, when they went inside and then started stretching the perimeter game, where was that play call on the freaking in overtime, Tommy Rees? And that's one thing I got to get off my chest, man. Tommy Rees, for you to make as much improvement as you did between the Tennessee week all the way up until Auburn, then turn around in this game and these last 3 drives, the inconsistency and play calling, you can't be too mad at what Jalen Murrow had to work with. You obviously seen what Michigan was throwing at us. You saw what they was forcing your quarterback to do. You saw what was working for your offense. Why do we go away from it? Once again, you got Justice Haynes, Jan Miller, and Jace McClellan all breaking off 6-7 yard runs. You get the ball in their hands, get the offense leaning on the guys. That's where our momentum was. And then you pull away from it. Why? Why are you making Miller? He's clearly not seeing the open first reads that you're setting up for him. Why are you putting him back in those situations? And then defensively, my God, Kool-Aid, how many times you going to miss a pass-off call? How many times are you going to miss a pass-off call? They literally kept running it. They missed it twice on them. The linebackers are passing it off. I don't care who you are. And Coach Sean, you would attest to this. At DB, if you get a pass-off call, if you get an out call, and you the perimeter DB, you sit. You wait for whatever coming out, whether it's in front of you, is going over top of you, you sit and you wait. It was both of those crossing plays where they scored on. I see both linebackers pointing and yelling. You could see these guys, Campbell and Lawson, yelling. Marshall yelling. Kool-Aid just riding the perimeter, the boundary wide receiver across the formation. Like, you got this help inside. They're sending it to the outside for you to sit there and not have to work as hard. You messed up you messed up Arnold on the same type of the pass off. So my thing was a lack of attention to details. Man, this team did not perform like they were, like they put on tape against Georgia. Like they came out and they was able to finish against like they came out and they was able to finish against Auburn. Like this game, it was so disturbing to watch. The end of the game play calling was so disturbing to watch, especially on the offensive side, man. We literally have found our niche. I don't know why you go away from the perimeter run game. That's something that I didn't expect us to be able to exploit, but we exploited it and we go away from it. But Seth McLaughlin, man, Coach
Sean, wait till he's gone. I mean,
if there's one thing that's been consistent this year that we've all been on top of, it's not Miro's inability to see the first read, because there's been games where he just kind of, even this game early on, he was trusting the check downs. You saw him checking down in situations where, usually he wouldn't. Wish we could have seen it more. That would have probably helped the play calling. But Seth McLaughlin, and it's snapping, bro. We literally called out the wing lead, and that's literally where Michigan's defense started their momentum, from attacking Seth McLaughlin. Right there, anywhere where Seth McLaughlin had to help it, they attacked it. They purposely attacked it. So we'll get into the X's and O's. Coach Sean, give your initial, final reaction off of this game, man. 562 live. Welcome in. Make sure you drop in likes. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Come on in, Michigan fans. We see you. Talk your trash. We here. We here for it. Coach Sean, take it away, brother.
First off, let me say to all the Michigan fans, especially Carlos and Mike Ford, the guys that's been in the chat going back and forth with us. Shout out to you guys, bro. You guys deserve to win that game. You kicked our asses. I'm gonna give it to you raw, homie. You know what I mean? Jalen Milroe played like shit. Damn all that. He played terrible. Bleep it out, Kyle, whatever. He played like dog doo-doo. The Tommy Reese, them play calls sucked. That pre-snap motion, they didn't even pay attention to it, right? And here's what's gonna really make you Bama fans mad. They didn't even do nothing special. I put this on Twitter. They didn't do nothing special.
They just stayed in zone.
Nothing special.
They didn't even get out of it.
Bro, here's what's gonna make you Bama fans real mad. I'm gonna tell it straight up like it is. Be mad. I don't give a you know what. I'm gonna tell you straight up what it was. I saw it the whole game. It didn't act like it went away. We made some adjustments the second half. Michigan played the same D. They knew we could not beat them with that base defense. I said on my earlier show, this is what I said. And I repeat, I hope everybody go back and replay it. I said, I want to see my concern. I want to see how patient Tommy Reese is with the run.
Man, did we not say that? Oh my God.
If they stop us early, I want to see, does he go away from it? Or does he be patient and let the guys bro, listen. I like Tommy Reese, right? He's a young guy. He's going to be good. He's going to be good, right? Michigan obviously watched the Tennessee first half game. They obviously watched it, right? That unbalanced defensive line. Jalen is a great quarterback, bro. He's still young. He goes against better defenses. He loses himself. He hadn't developed a consistent intermediate ball yet, right? Great quarterback. I take nothing from Jalen Milroe. He had a great season, right? But this defense was going to put him in. We talked about it, bro. They was going to put him in position to where he was going to have to make the throws, right? These guys brought pressure. We couldn't adjust to the pressure. That was so funny. I didn't even get mad about it, bro. Because I talked about this earlier, bro. I talked about this earlier. Third down is the money down. See, the truth is in the details, right?
Question. Before you keep going, you remember what formation did we see the least of that we said we would have to get out there personnel-wise for the offense? We saw the least of it tonight. We didn't get no real 12-man personnel, no run game off of the freaking 12-man personnel. Where was our double tight sets when in the pass pro when our offensive line was clearly getting outmatched with the stunts? Where was the 6-man pass pro?
The second half, we didn't get into.
Why we wait till
the fourth quarter? We went away from it. Why did we go away from that? What was working?
And see,
it doesn't make sense.
See, fans will get mad at us or talk trash to us and say, "Well, y'all said this," but we were calling out the obvious what was needed to happen. When we went to it, the 12-man personnel, literally 2-man wide receiver sets was the best time when we had the two splits. Not once did we have struggles moving the ball downfield, whether it was pass or the run game, perimeter, or I mean, even in the perimeter pass game when we ran screens, it was out of 12-man personnel. Why did we go away from that when they clearly couldn't match up with it? And then snaps. Oh, go ahead, Coach Sean. I'm sorry, man. That when you said that about, you saw the personnel matchup, I was like, dang, we wanted to see 12. We knew we needed to see 12. We didn't see no knee black, the pre combos. We didn't see no pre oops for real.
I had fans in my chat talking about 45 to 10. I don't know what some of these people be watching, bro. But see, look, let me clarify this before so you can't question my fandom. I'm a Bama fan, right? But I didn't attend Alabama. I don't love Alabama like that to keep me enough. Well, I'm gonna tell a lie, right? I went to Alabama A&M University. I'm in love with them. I just do this because I like Alabama. I grew up an Alabama fan, so I'm not gonna lie for them, right? They got whipped. Tyler Booker, love him. Talk a lot, but he got whipped. 55 whipped him the entire game, and that's okay. That's okay. That's when your offensive coordinator is supposed to adjust, right? We saw what Michigan was doing from the outset. I said clearly, these guys are not going to change what they do. They're going to be themselves, right? We didn't adjust at all. Now, I tell you what we did do the second half, right? And there were things open downfield. They were coming across the formation. Several things open. If you pay attention to, it was about 8 minutes left about 7 to 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Jermaine Burton got frustrated. You know what I mean? He got frustrated. Yeah. I don't know what was said. Cat was open like 15 times, and we had time. We just didn't look at him. We didn't look at him. When we should have used Jalen's legs.
Unnecessary checkdowns that I was talking about. When them checkdowns, he was going to them for no reason. When you got the open looks that you've been forcing early, now you want to pass them off when you actually got time. Like, where was your head tonight, Jalen? That wasn't characteristic of him. My fault, man. But
the thing about it, bro, is it's enough blame for Jalen and Tommy Reese. Tommy Reese didn't put that boy in a good position the first half. Now the second half we had opportunities. The first half I had no clue what we're doing. And can somebody explain to me what these little rollout passes where he just throw it 2 yards to the what is that? The whole defense see you rolling to the right, you just throw it to Kendrick Law for like a back
it's
at the
so
line.
Easy for them because they're in zone, so they see it a mile away before it's even.
Do you realize Jermaine Burton it was
backside post, the backside crosser?
I don't know what route he run. I just know I seen him waving his hands when he got back to. They showed them in the huddle, breaking the huddle. He was hot.
It was the dig
route. He was mad.
There were a couple of times where he was just ran a dig and was wide open.
The bottom line is, guys, to all the Michigan fans, shout out to y'all. I hope y'all go win it, right? You know what I mean? The bottom line is Michigan's defensive coordinator was 5 steps ahead of our offensive coordinator. I tweeted that, right? We adjusted, true enough, but they obviously their film study was much better than ours. If you think I'm lying, please go back and watch the first half.
Watch the game.
Watch and then look at what they did to us, and we couldn't do nothing. We couldn't do nothing.
But watch this game, Sean. You saw the second half adjustments made on both sides. It was about the players executing at that point. Michigan, they didn't just run all over us and pass all over us. They didn't have their way. We literally made adjustments at every drive. The defense did what they were supposed to do. And it was the fact of the matter, like Coach Jay loved to allude to. If you put our defense out there too many times, at some point in time, the averages are going to they're going to get thrown out the window because your probability starts to go against you. Probability goes, if the defense is giving you 3 extra possessions, you need to score 7 on at least one of those. And then the other one has to result the second one out of the 3 has to result in changing the field position or putting your defense in the position to where they're not at stress defended. You get what I'm saying? So we did that with the punt game, but when that number starts to get up to 4, 5, I think the defense gave the offense 5 possessions where Michigan's offense couldn't score, and we had 0 points out of those possessions. That can't you don't win like that. You don't win like that.
And we had so many chances to literally put the game away in the second half. The first one where everything started to click, where Ty Marie started to make those adjustments. We started running a lot of misdirection. We started the power run game started to work on a little bit. We started run a lot of pin and pull. We did something that Michigan did pretty well, which is running a lot.
I literally said it in the chat. You remember that?
And yeah, exactly. You called that out, and it was working. It was effective. Booker actually got his rhythm, and then Jalen Merrill fumbles. That right there. That killed the momentum. Another momentum shifter. We're driving down the field, 10, 15, 20-yard increments, chewing down clock. We're inside the 35-yard lines. A penalty which sets us up on freaking 2nd and 15. And then another penalty on another drive where we're driving on the field. Another penalty on 2nd and 15. We had 4 penalty killer drive or turnover killer drives that we were moving the ball down the field. We had the momentum. We had them on the ropes. Their defense started to play a little bit of man and got off a little bit of that zone. They started and that's everybody towards up, and it got dead. It was dead because of penalties, and they went right back to what fucking worked in the first place. It's ridiculous how the lack of execution happened in this game for this offense. It's ridiculous.
Man, let me tell you something that stood out real early to me. One thing that I did see. I saw what Alabama was trying to do on the defensive side. If you go back and watch the game, Tim Keaton on the interior is such an intricate part of what this defense can do as far as stopping the run game. While we were going away from having him or Otis man that one technique or that one eye technique, I don't know why, but when we put our ends over their guards or over their tackles head up, we had success containing the run game. Kevin Steele, that last drive when they drove down and they was able to score that shift that we pulled, I don't understand that. I don't understand even the alignment on the back end. Like it wasn't set up to even defend the counter. You had your overhang, your backside corner, not even in the overhang. You had him on the line of scrimmage. He wasn't pressing nobody. You had a tight end off the line of scrimmage behind an H-back set. Like it just felt like there was no legit communication on the back end of those plays, man. And it bothers me, man, because you can see small things happening out there just continuously happening. You're like, man, they're gonna fix it. And it just wasn't happening. The play calls was there, just wasn't happening. And AJ, one thing we're gonna give AJ credit for. Let me address these super chats before we get out here. PK 205 $5 super chat roll top, man. He said not replacing the center, came back to bite us, replay fourth down. He didn't block nobody. I mean, he didn't do much of anything all night, man. And we love Seth for what he did early in his career, but this year has been a struggle to ride with Seth. Steve Zamora became a member, said the center is absolutely awful, but Miro never got into rhythm. Hey, it happens, man, when you're trying to look for stuff that ain't there. Like we've been saying the whole year. If he could come off of that, man, being able to process through them reads a lot better, like with timing, it's a lot better, man. It'll get a lot better a lot easier for him. Because then he'll learn to use his legs in the right time. We was yelling it earlier in the game, man. You see they beating your tackle. And beat them with your legs. They pushing you up in the pocket. They push you to the side you like to run to. Take it. Stop extending the play so long. Get upfield. Press the line of scrimmage. Chili 199 said everyone knew it was going to be a QB run. # easy. I honestly thought they was going to give him at least the motion play with Kendrick Law or Isaiah Bonds coming across the formation motion something. That's what I thought. Dougie Fresh 125 $4.99 super chat says I love Miro, but the momentum shift that could have stopped the overtime was his fumble. He will learn from this. We hope so, man. We hope so. Here go AJ finally in the chat. He says looks like AJ had a point about Miro. I mean, to be honest, you were making the same point everybody else was making. Like he don't process his reads fast. He's a great quarterback. He's just still young, still raw. Bill O'Brien is the happiest person right now. Man, I know he hate that he's made that comment, but he get to come back another year. AJ Maverick back with $4.99. He said our QB sucks, can't read defenses, stuck on his first read, takes sacks. C passer. I said this and I was told I don't know football. Julian say in 2024. I doubt it, but appreciate the $4.99 super chat. And Jamal Jones with $4.99 super chat. Appreciate y'all for super chat, man. So this is what I want to address. When you have a situation like what you have with Jalen Miro, man, especially at the quarterback position, the type of development we've seen from Jalen Miro, you won't find it in very many places. It's very few times you're going to come to, and you got to think mentor, like we said, former defensive coordinator, NFL defensive coordinator, he brings a different edge. They finally got their talent there where they want it to be. They do what they do. That's what they did. Coach Sean, you said it. Who would be able to stick with their game plan the longest? And I felt like defensively, our defense turned the page and stuck with what we need to do to make adjustments and be successful. Offensively, man, it was like people could not. Reese didn't come off that play calling style. Reese didn't come off that play calling style to make the necessary adjustments that we need to make. Coach Sean, Coach Jay, y'all go ahead, man. Talk about the ability to make adjustments.
Let me say this. Carlos, Mike Ford, y'all defensive coordinator, out-coached our offensive coordinator. Dude was like 5 steps ahead of our OC, like for real. The first half, I knew it was going to be sort of pity-pat, up, down, you make a play, we make a play. But I knew when we went in the second half, I knew we usually come out, make the adjustments, and we did, right? You guys' offense wasn't really moving the ball like that. But I'm going to tell you what you got to say. Same thing I've been saying all year, bro. You cannot, what I call the money down, everybody in the chat, what I call the money down, third down. Cannot go 3 and out over and over and over and over and expect the defense just to keep doing that. At some point, the defense get tired, bro. They're going to give up something, right? That's why you need help from the offense. You got to put some points on the board, 3 points, 7 points, something. You just can't go out there first, second down, third down, punt. First down, second down, third down, punt. Because at some point, the defense is going to give up something, right? And they did. We deserve to lose that game. We didn't deserve to win. Even if we had won that game, I'd have been happy, but I'd have been like,
well, we was talking it already in the chat. If we was to win that game, that would have been worse than the Georgia win. Because we didn't play a complete quarter of offensive football at all. No point in that game. The first drive, the first score came off of good field position caused by the defense. The second drive, the second score, I believe, and man, it's all running together because I just can't get over these snaps, man. It was just one thing you can do. I don't care if you don't understand scheme. You can snap as a center. You can snap that ball. You can work on, you can go after practice. You and your quarterback can sit together 15, 20 minutes after practice and do 120 snaps. You 50s and 50s and 50. You know, like we used to have quarterbacks and quarterbacks and centers do snap exchange for like 20, 30 minutes before practice. You show up, you go through, they going through stretching and all the extra individual stuff. We doing snapping exchange for like 15, 20 minutes. Especially when you want to go into the spread style offense, you want to use your athletic quarterback. Your exchange got to be there. At what point? And this is a downfall of not the staff, but the player. Steph, at what point do you take accountability and you fix that on your own? There's no reason why. And we've been talking about it. Milroe's timing is never going to be right if he's looking at the ground every time this ball snapped to him. If he's got to drop his eyes every time the ball snaps to him, or his eyes got to go behind him to find the ball every time it snapped to him. So, I mean, we can get into all the different details that was exposing, but that right there is a primary thing that's been hurting this team for a whole season, man.
Ironically, our first score came off of a Seth McLaughlin terrible snap. That's where the first score came off, because the Michigan defenders froze. They froze, and that literally opened. And again, the lane was opened up, and Jason McKellen excelled and scored a touchdown off of it. Seth is gone after this year, so I just, it is what it is with that. I mean, we've been calling it out since the first game of the season. I don't know what the issue is with Seth. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if his hand. I don't know, but it is what it is. He's gone next year. Good luck to him. Hopefully he can make a roster in the league, and that's just it is what it is with that. This you know what? As good as this defense I thought played, and yes, they gave us a lot of opportunities in the crucial moments in the game where we needed to stop, they couldn't get the stop. That 4th and 2 call is going to haunt me for a long time, man, because how in the absolute hell did we miss that running back coming off the backfield? How in a man coverage type, in a man coverage scheme, do we have not one player on that running back? You know why? Because because it was miscommunication when we tried to take Barner. It was miscommunication on trying to take the tight end. That's the play right there. 4th and 2 in a crucial stop in a crucial moment. If Deontay Lawson reads that and gets the man coverage, yes, J.J. McCarthy still throws that ball. But for the most part, guys, at this point, it's man on man. It's Will at this point.
But I want you to go back. I want you to go back and look at Jalen Key's drops when he has deep third on the weak side. He's never in position to help.
I'm not even going to identify Jalen Key, because we called it. We said Christian Story.
We
knew that Jalen Key was going to be the weakness for this team. We knew.
You know what? You know what helps?
Key is and the points that we all made on him is exposed itself tonight, right? Like Coach Sean says, the truth is in the details.
In the details.
And everything that we saw from Jalen Key in this game is exactly what we all highlighted. And we knew that Christian Story would be the perfect fit for this team. He would be the perfect fit. Nothing surprised me at all from Jalen Key. Nothing surprised for me. What did surprise me was how Kool-Aid McKinstry simply just couldn't pass off. How Kool-Aid McKinstry just couldn't get in sync. That's what surprised me, because everyone kept telling me that this dude's a first-round corner and that he's a top 15 pick. And we still had a debate with fans that he was better than Terry Arnold. And this dude, he can't. This dude
can't listen. He can't be disciplined.
Can't be disciplined, but we highlighted that the entire season. And like I said, Kool-Aid McKinstry overall had a good season, but the one thing that I talked about, the one thing that we all talked about, he's not disciplined. He's not. He's an individual. He does me. He does me. That's what he does, and that's exactly what happened tonight. That selfish freaking play that happened all season round cost us.
And you know the difference between tonight and most instances previously was that we played teams that didn't pay attention to it. They just immediately went away from them because it's Kool-Aid. You know, the teams that did try them, they try them early in the game. It's one of them things. It's one of those things where you look at the film and you see it every game with Kool-Aid. He's always a step behind in any exchange coverage. Coach Sean highlighted it against, I think, USF. They couldn't even test us downfield, but you could see multiple plays where they was going to try to run play action, and you see Kool-Aid always out of position underneath when it's time to exchange. And the crossing, somebody on Michigan's offensive staff looked at the LSU game from last year. They looked at the Tennessee game from this year. They looked at the Ole Miss game from this year, and they said, man, if we could bring some type of jet motion across the formation late, they're not gonna pick it up. But guess what? The linebackers saw that and they said, all right, we ain't gonna make the mistake. We're gonna make sure we communicate this time. Kool-Aid sits there and rides a boundary. This guy didn't release upfield either, Sean. Coach J. He comes one step off the line and starts streaking across the line of scrimmage. And Kool-Aid's trying to ride this guy. Why? There's clearly you're the boundary corner. You have to maintain boundary coverage. We're not in open field. I guarantee you there's no defense that's ever been coached by Coach Saban, Coach Steele, or any college coach for that matter that tells a boundary corner to follow a drag across the formation. I don't care if you get man call or whatever. You don't follow a boundary receiver as the boundary corner across the formation in goal line sets. Ever. Tight sets, ever. And if you do, it's because you got a bunch set on one side. But when you got a split set like that, you don't ever do that. So, man, I hate to see us go down like that. But so many things, man,
many mistakes.
Even the look on Miro's face, man, after that drive where the bad snap happened, like even that energy coming off the field was different. Like I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, this this don't look like Link to me. This look like complaining, like pretty boy stuff." You know what I'm saying? Like,
and coach, this is why for the most part, all that talking that happened during these pressers and all that stuff like that, this whole Link crap. This is why I wasn't investing into it. This is why I stayed off of social media. I didn't even.
They had me tricked. This
is why I didn't even indulge in it. I don't even care about it. Because you know what, these Michigan players, because I watched their press conferences. Did they talk some smack here and there? Yeah, they talked a little smack here and there, but not as much as these Bama players talked about how lank and they talked about this and that and how they were unified and how they were all together. Well, guess what? We didn't play like it. We didn't play like it today. We didn't look prepared. We looked like, for the most part, that's all we did was talk and not prepare for film. Because the amount of miscommunication in this game was baffling. I can understand us getting manhandled. Because I think in the line of scrimmage in that first half, at least from the offensive line perspective, we got manhandled. I can understand that. I can understand Michigan adding in new wrinkles and we're getting out schemed, because that's not on the players, that's on the coaches to make those adjustments and put players in these really, really good possible good situations. But the fact that these players couldn't even follow the basics as far as not communicating with each other. I thought Pete Golding was our defensive coordinator. I'm like, is this Pete Golding coaching this defense? What's going on? Because the same mistakes that happened with Pete Golding, as far as not following responsibility, boundary corners are not playing their assignments, linebackers are not really passing when it's needed to, and even when they're making the right calls, no one else is really picking it up. We're out of our gap. We're out of our gaps. We're not edge setting. We're not edge setting properly. We're playing a lot of selfish ball. I thought Pete Golding was our defensive coordinator for this game. I really did. So it is what it is, man. I mean, that's the part that irks me. That's the point that bothers me. And that's why I'm saying, man, whatever this late crap and whatever this talking crap, and this is something that we all talked about in the beginning of the season, was with this big body bully ball type crap that everyone kept spouting out. And you know what? I should have stuck with it for the season, because we called it out then. And I should have been more consistent about it. Shut up, and for the most part, go out there and prove it. Don't let all the naysayers. Well, guess what? We proved the naysayers right today.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. This team came through so much. I know you mad about the loss and stuff. We didn't play a complete game, all that.
No, we did.
But
for this game, we did.
But the team that showed up, the team that showed up tonight that made it to the playoffs is not the same team that showed up and got beat by Texas. This game, this is not the same team, bro. This team is set up for what's to come next season. And I ain't trying to alleviate nothing that happened tonight, especially when it comes to the execution. This was execution wise. This was worse than the Georgia game. This was worse than the Georgia game execution wise. And like you said, man, I can't really fault the defense this game, man. At some point, the moment becomes surreal, and you have to acknowledge, like, man, I got to do something. And that's what happened at those last two drives. They gave us too many opportunities. Coach Sean, take it away, man. I see you ain't said that in a minute, but go ahead, bro.
I'm just listening, bro. I'm just listening, bro.
Smooth sound. Look, hold on. Let me get this. Hold on. He crazy. Smooth sound like a dumbass like Miro. You blaming all the wrong people. It's on Miro. Wake up. It ain't just on Miro, because when they did call the right plays, guys wasn't making blocks. It wasn't his fault. He was getting pressure in his face as soon as the ball touching his hands on his second, third, and fourth snap. It was literally not.
Was it his fault that these receivers couldn't develop routes because of the amount of pressure that was being put on him?
Nah, you get what I'm saying? So I mean, get off of that, bro, and come here talking crazy again. You gonna get blocked, juice games. Since you want to talk crazy, come to my channel and talk crazy like that. Go to my Twitter and talk to me crazy like that. I'm with it tonight for real. Let's go. Go ahead, Coach Sean.
Go ahead and get the super chats with them people.
He said, Smooth, you can sarcastically thank me for the 4.99 and dismiss my comments all you want, but it is what it is, bro. Remove your Bama goggles. You wrong, B. I'm wrong, and you literally repeated. You retracted and started saying what we've been echoing the whole season. If Miro doesn't learn how to come off his first read quicker, it's going to come back to bite us against better defense. All three panelists said that multiple times. And then we also addressed the fact that if he doesn't use the check down or is indecisive against defenses with nasty fronts, athletic fronts, it will come back to bite him. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you should listen more, but it is what it is. Go ahead, Coach Sean.
Let me say this, bro. For everything Carlos said, Carlos was 1,000% correct. You know what I'm saying? So was Mike Ford. I think our defense for everything Coach J said was spot on, but I think even with those misconceptions, those mishaps, we played well enough on defense to win this game. Right? The offense failed us tonight. We lost. If you want to put your finger on why we lost this game, point at the offense. Because even though the defense didn't have their best moment late, they stopped Michigan the entire game, all but a play here, a play there. I mean, think about it. We went into overtime. That wasn't because of the offense by no stretch of the imagination. That was because the defense played well. Oh, Wingate, I was there in 96. I was a freshman in 96, bro. I was there 4 years, graduated from there. So, yes, but it doesn't shock me to see the defense play like that late, right? Even though they had some mishaps early, right? The defense, again, remember, guys, Michigan's a good team. So to hold Michigan to 14 points, was it? 13, 14 points, whatever it was, 13 until the fourth quarter, I believe. If I'm not wrong, that's a win. That should be a win. If you hold any playoff team to that amount of points, you telling me we can't win that game? So, the offense play, and this is my fear, bro. Yeah. I don't talk about it a lot because Bama, certain Bama fans get mad at you, but I'm gonna keep it real, bro. This team overachieved, bro. This team has done well. I get them respect for the Lank stuff because we did prove a lot of naysayers wrong. We did have a great season, right?
Yeah.
But against good competition, you can't, and dude, this go back to youth league football, man. You can't go 3 and out over and over and over and over. You have to win at least 2 of the 3 phases of football, right? If you're going to win special teams and win on defense, you got to win consistently on both of those 2, and you can probably afford to play on offense like we did tonight, right? But you can't play shitty boo-boo late on defense. You can't play shitty boo-boo the entire game on offense and expect to beat good competition. It's not going to happen. Michigan is not a world beater on offense by any stretch of the imagination. We knew that, right? We could have won this game, but our offense let us down. They did. They did. It's just no way around it. I don't care what nobody say. Jalen Miro didn't play well. Tommy Reese didn't call great plays at most of the time. We did not play consistent enough. We did not move the chains. And I'm going to tell you how bad it was. When we were running pre-snap motion, they didn't even adjust to it. It's almost like we was running for no reason. They were just like, don't pay that no attention. Don't pay no attention. It didn't work at all. You know what that is, guys? That's film study. That's film study, watching what we do. That's tendencies, watching what we do. And Michigan beat us in that. Michigan beat us in that tonight, right? Trust what I'm telling you. They beat us in that tonight. You know what I mean? The part that pisses me off, that makes me angry is it was opportunities in that game for Bama to blow that team out, bro. Like, Bama left probably 21 points on that field. And it was right in front of their face, bro. Right in front of their face. The sad part, let me say this before you guys jump in. When these guys were bringing pressure, they weren't even hiding it. They weren't even disguising it. they would come up to the line of scrimmage. They got to the point where they knew we could not beat them throwing the football. And part of that is Jalen Milroe when it was there, and the other part is Tommy Rees calling them weak plays, bro. And what I found out is, man, I mean, when some of my other coaches was talking during the game, I think, and this is just what I believe. This is not proof. I think the Bama staff don't trust Jalen to throw screens
across the middle or across the middle or across the middle, quick slants, none of that.
I don't think they trust him to do that because with the way these guys are bringing pressure, it's sometimes the guy didn't have a hot route. You know, when they would run back and they would show the play again in slow motion, all these guys running digs, and it's like, who is he supposed to throw to? Right? Who is he supposed to throw? If they're bringing that much pressure, who is he going to throw to? Right. So I don't understand. You know, we just got beat, bro. Shout out to Michigan's defensive coordinator. Shout out to him because he won that game against our offense tonight. Period.
Hey, quick stat highlights, and this is what I want to talk about. See, it wasn't like Michigan just dominated us. This is the thing. You talk about first downs, 17 for Alabama, 15 for Michigan. Third down efficiency. Neither team could really convert on third down. So the defense was doing their job. The difference was when they took their gambles, they executed 2 for 2 on fourth down. On both of those drives where they converted on fourth down, they fourth downs resulted in points that kept them in the game. That changed the momentum of the game. Yards per pass, 5 yards per pass for Jalen Milroe. You know, forced a couple of deep shots. His inability to come off that first read definitely came back to bite us hard. You got McCarthy did what he usually does. You know, 17 completions out of 27. Alabama won the run game. Everybody was talking about Michigan's run game. Their run game was no more effective than our run game. It was literally what we've been saying. The penalties. Our 3 penalties came in moments where we were literally driving, man. We didn't have one defensive penalty all night. Not one defensive penalty. So to your point, Coach Son, the blame, if you got a pointed finger, which most teams, real teams don't, but you gotta look yourself in the mirror. And the defense was not the cause of this. This was lack of execution by our offense. You know, it started with the snaps. You could say is Miro, you know, not seeing the first read, but it starts with the snaps, man. And like you said, when they were showing those pressures, it was early in the game. It was like I was seeing those steps that we haven't seen from Miro. Like when they showing pressure, holding, checking, making calls, making reads, but then like it don't look like you making the right checks. It's like, what are you calling? What are you checking to? You didn't check into a run. I didn't see him check into a run against a blitz read, not once. I didn't see none of that tonight. So my question is, you know, where's the next step as far as his development? I know we all mad about the loss and stuff, but this is things we've been talking about, man. When it came to what this team is able to do, we talked about Seth McLaughlin being the weakest link. That was the first. I think that was the thing all 3 of us harping on this last show. If we had to pick a weakness about the whole defense, offense of Alabama, what would our concern be? And Seth McLaughlin was the center of it. For everybody, you can look at it. Even people outside of the Alabama verse, you know, Twitterverse, we're talking about, you know, if Seth McLaughlin don't clean up the snaps, I didn't think it would affect us to this degree. But man, who would have thought? You know, so you know, let's get these super chats before you guys continue. Jamel Jones said Saban seemed more complacent. This was a winnable game. That's what hurts. Jalen can't process reads. Kool-Aid is just about flashing out his play. Jamal, I never speak bad on players, but that was definitely a fair assessment of how he played tonight. Even the point where, you know, he even tried to get mad at Caleb Downs and Jalen Key on the first little leak as if it was their fault. You're the boundary corner, Kool-Aid. Why are you crossing? That is never going to, I'm never going to understand that. I'm never going to understand. Not once was that formation spread either, Sean. It was like you got the tight formation. The tight end, the real bad one was when the tight end was lined up as an H-back as the weak side, and you're the boundary corner. Why are you crossing the formation? Why are you crossing formation? Why are you not picking up the motion that's coming across formation or dropping back to keep the motion that's coming across formation, keep everything in front of you? Like that's the easy thing to do. So it just is bothersome to see low IQ football being played at this time of the season. Smoke Man with the $5 says Seth gained all that weight and can't bend over anymore. Man, Seth, he's still not over 300 pounds. That's the sad part. 100% Wood Peckerwood $5 super chat said, can't keep a D on the field and expect a title.
Facts.
First 30 minutes ended us before we started. 60 yards in the first half. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I think it was really 93 total yards in the first half. And most of that came on the drive we didn't even score on. So that's that's like shooting yourself in the foot. And Coach Saban said it. I don't know if y'all paid attention to one of the I think it was the third quarter. The first
It was when Jalen Murrow fumbled.
When they caught him saying we just keep on shooting. No, it was on the Seth McLaughlin false start.
Was it on the?
It was on Seth.
It was either it was the penalty or no, it was penalty. You're right. It was the penalty.
But whatever it was, man, he
McLaughlin.
said it. He said we just keep shooting ourselves in the foot. That third quarter was supposed to be the part of the game where we opened that game up. We should have been up by 10 the second time. I mean the third time Michigan touched the ball. At least 10.
Let me say the hybrid. Oh, I'm sorry, Coach Jay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. No, you go ahead, Coach Jay. You go ahead.
Okay,
you go ahead.
Okay. No, I'll say this real quick. A lot of the stuff that did happen today, let's be honest, we've been seeing this all season,
all year,
all year round with this like the mistakes. I haven't seen this amount of miscommunication on the defensive side of the ball. Like even in the Texas game, probably since the Texas game, but that was in the fourth quarter. That wasn't all game. But all season long, miscalculation, poor snaps. Offensive line play, offensive line play got better, but what happened the first half of the season? Same crap that we got beat today by Michigan is exactly what a lot of teams did to us. Tennessee did to us in the first half. Arkansas, like one player, we made Landon Jackson look like freaking Reggie White out there. I mean, this is just all the stuff that accumulated, all the mistakes that we made today against Michigan happened all year round for this team. Now we were resilient. That's where the phrase link even came from in the first place because people doubted us and we made it all the way to this point. But the exact same stuff that led us to link was the exact same stuff that cost us that is the reason why we're going home. So,
this is the thing before you go, Sean. This is the thing that I want fans to remember. This ain't stuff that we haven't been talking about. Like we haven't been addressing the obvious. It's just when you talk about forward progression and being sound in what you do, and what the talent that you put on the field, you don't expect this type of showing, especially from the defense, man. And on the back end, the secondary has been the most consistent performing group of the defense all year. And that's where we saw the most mishaps tonight. Uncharacteristic. And Michigan didn't even capitalize on all of them. That's the funny thing. They didn't capitalize on all of them. Just like we keep saying we left points on the field. Well, they missed a lot of reads too. They didn't
play a great game either. You can make an argument they played a piss poor game on the offensive side of the ball until the fourth quarter.
And even then they didn't play a great game. It was literally they two opportunities that they had that presented themselves in the fourth quarter. They capitalized on them, and that brought them back into the game. And it's just a smart thing. Play calling and Tommy Rees definitely got shaky in crunch time, man. And it's been like that. Just had opportunities where Milroe's been able to bail us out. The offense has been Bonds, Burton, those guys. Even Burton's catch today was clutch, man. You want to see him press that, but they were playing the goal line. He made the right play. You try to win that after you catch the ball. You try to win that. You stay in bounds, try to win that. So over time, you could see the smarts and the IQ out there. It just didn't come together tonight, man. So go ahead, Coach Sean.
Hybrid. I don't think we're blaming. I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't think I'm blaming Milroe. I'm blaming the entire offense. Right? They played a terrible game, and it wasn't like I'm blaming the call. I'm blaming the offensive line. I'm blaming the play call, the quarterback. I'm blaming the offense as a whole. They left the defense out to dry. Right? This is the playoffs. Anybody can beat you. You left the defense out to dry. Defense got 3 and out time and time again. And you did nothing but go first down, second down, third down, punt. First down, second down, third down, punt. I would be interested in see how many 3 and outs we had in this game. All you're doing when you go 3 and out is giving the other team a chance to score on your defense, right? At some point, they're going to, bro, right?
Yeah.
I challenge anybody. They had this game on like 4 different type of platforms: Skycast, simulcast, all that. Go back and look at the one with the overhead view with no. It's called Skycast, I believe.
Yeah,
Go back and
Skycast.
look at that.
That's where I like to watch from, man. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, it has no announcer. Go back and look at how many times receivers were wide open. We hold the ball. We don't throw them. We end up taking a sack, or we hold the ball. You know, the way they played defense, they never feared Jalen throwing the ball. Now, is that Jalen? Is that the play call? I don't give a damn. It's all the same, right? That team was never afraid of us beating them passing. Look how they played us, man. Honest as hell up front. They never was afraid of us throwing the ball, bro. You understand what I'm saying? They never feared us throwing the ball. So what I'm trying to explain to you is you cannot win a championship like that, bro. If they take something away, you have to be able to capitalize on something else, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't. So you got to give them the credit. Their defense played well. They didn't do nothing special, right? They just lined up, did what they do, and stopped us enough. It made us punt enough. And thank God for James Burnham, or the game would have been worse than that. Thank God for James Burnham, because he put them in horrible field position time and time again, right? So shout out to Michigan's defensive coordinator. Shout out to Michigan as a whole team. We played well. We had a great season, but they beat us. They outcoached us tonight, and we lost the football game. And that's just what it is.
Right. I think, and I don't even think we got our coach on the defensive side, man. Coach Sean, I feel
I
like
don't think so either. I don't think so. I mean, as far as the offense goes,
that was that, and I got to give Kevin Steele, because Michigan did a lot of wrinkles tonight, man. And I credit Michigan's offense. It wasn't successful either. It wasn't like everything that they was doing was successful. It was just they were presenting so many different looks that for the most part of the first half, our defense was playing catch up, but they still had our offense in position to take control of this game and, you know, take advantage of opportunities that they was giving us. My gripe on the offensive play calling side goes to when you came out in the third quarter. Yes, you go down and you have a strong drive and the snap messed up. Why you go away from that play calling? You know, snaps is kind of like, you know, you kind of live with what happens in the snaps. That's a game of chance, but what's working for your offense, you kind of want to rely on that. You're more inclined to rely on that when it's working, especially in the situation we was in. So Tommy Rees, and we still got to remember, I'm not giving Rees no excuses, because you've had a season of learning this team. You've had 3 weeks of extra preparation, film study, all of these things to work your extra wrinkles, really get those guys comfortable with pre-snap motion and using Kendrick Law and knee black and telling Miro to focus on where you know they're going to force him to look. Did he look in the middle of that field once to complete a pass tonight? No. And where was most of his openings was when they sent the blitz, right across them, in between the hashes, anywhere. If Miro had thrown ducks all night behind the blitz, that would have been 6-7 yards, 6+ yards every time. But he never looked there. And my thing is, with a young coordinator like Rees, do you learn from that, go forward, and start looking at the small things? Because that's if we're gonna gripe about anything Miro can't do, is literally come off that first read and see the quick game. It's literally, you got to see the quick game, Miro. This is a league, especially in the SEC. They're gonna send pressure. They're gonna send 6. They're gonna send 7. You got to be able to come off that read and see the hot, man. And like you said, to your point, Coach Sean, it was one time I think that was either CJ Dupree or Robbie Ouz came off that H-back look, and they came off the line, and the blitz came from the left side, and it looked like Miro was looking there. He dumps it off. If he lets it go, give your wide receivers a chance. You put yourself in better position instead of 3rd and 18, 3rd and 19. Like it never processed for me.
We will not win a national championship if Miro can't progress. I'm just gonna point it.
Oh, we've been said that though. We said that
next year is going to get harder, guys. I know, but it's just to some of the fans that. And listen, I believe in Milroe. I think that Milroe has a great opportunity to get better, to get improved. And I think he will take this game. I think he's going to look at the tape. He's going to be sick to his stomach. I think there's going to be a lot of emotion to those players that watch the film. We'll see who comes back and who doesn't come back. A lot of first round talent playing in this game. But Miro has got to get better. Next year is going to get harder, guys. When Texas and Oklahoma come to the SEC, And not just that, but then we're entering a 12-team playoff era where there's going to be a lot of teams, man, that they're going to do their homework on Alabama if we can make it in the first place.
Yeah.
Next year's not. I mean, yeah, it's not going to be an easy format. There's 3 games we got to play if we get into the playoffs, and that's if we win the SEC championship game. Otherwise, we might have to play 4. I think we have to play 4 games because you got the first round. You got the second round, which will be the quarterfinals. You got the semi. Yeah, you got to play 4 games. You got to play 4 games, man. So, Milroe's got to step up. He's got to step up, and this offense has got to take it to a different level. This defense, I thought, did it. This defense, I thought, was elite. This was an elite defense, and it wasn't perfect. We made a lot of mistakes. But guess what? 2016, when we lost to Clemson, our defense was not perfect in that game. We had a great first half, and the second half, we got eaten up alive against Clemson, right? So our defense, even though it's been elite for years during our prime years, we've had games where teams would score 40-plus points on us. So this defense showed up this season. This defense, even from the first snap to the Texas game, I thought this defense was incredible. And it sucks that we could not win a national title with this group, man, because this is possibly from a secondary standpoint, this might have been one of the best secondaries we've ever had. Might have been the best secondary we've ever had. And
mine is one spot. If we get
safety,
Key out the way, man.
Yeah, mine is safety. You put Christian Story and let him develop from the beginning of the season. I thought we could have been to that level, but no. Hopefully next season will. Hopefully, but yeah, Milroe's got to get better. He's got to be better.
Let me say this, man. Adam, I like you, bro. You cool as I don't know what. But 2 things, bro. You do listen to us, right? When have you ever heard me underestimate Michigan? I'm the same dude that told you just a few hours ago this defense is going to cause. I'm going to just repeat what I said. This defense is going to cause us some problems. This defense is going to cause. I said their offense is not world beaters. Boom. I said this defense is going to cause us some issues. I want to see what Coach Reese does if they stop our run. If anybody in the chat heard me say that, please let me know, because I heard myself say that, right? Adam, I like you, bro, but sometimes you stretch it a little far. And then you said Milroe has been in the program 3 years. Milroe's been a first-year starter. What are you talking about, family? What are you talking about? Hold on. You a first-year starter, fam, right? This dude is by no means a finished product. Do you remember Jaden Daniels from last year? He looked just like this. Look at Jaden Daniels now. Milroe has a whole nother year to come back. You say he hadn't progressed. Did you see him in the beginning of the season? Did you see the offense as a whole at the beginning of the season? 2 teams to beat us, bro. Texas and Michigan. Both of them are in the playoffs, Adam. What are you talking about, fam? You know what I'm saying? Did you see Georgia beat Florida State the other night? Well, that team lost to Alabama, right? Fair and square. The 2 teams Alabama lost to are both in the playoffs, Adam. Texas and Michigan, and probably going to be playing for it all. What do some of y'all be talking about, bro? I love y'all, but what the hell do you be talking about, bro? The man didn't play well. I'll be the first to tell you that. I've said it more than once. He didn't play well at all. The offense didn't play well, right? But I won't see him act like he had a gang of help on the offense. Even the Michigan fans will tell you that. Offensive line getting whipped, right? Michigan didn't do anything special. They just lined up and whipped you, bro. It happens. You lost. We lost, right? It's a collective effort on offense to hold this L, right? Period, bro. Period.
If we're looking at it from just stats, this game played out like the stats played out, even as they can get. My thing was, and this is one thing I will say I was surprised with, and this what I didn't understand why we came off of this when it was working. Why was Otis and Keenan not manning the tackle after they clearly we were having success stopping, slowing the run game down with Payne and Smith and Latham. They were doing all right, but Keenan in the game, even when it was just Keenan manning the defensive tackle spot, you saw the difference in how the run game was being called. And I'm gonna say this before I pass it, and I'm gonna say this right here. I get tired of y'all coming for some of the takes that we have. There's a way that this panel is set up, right? You have your objective, you have your in between, and you have your pro. I'm the pro guy. When I talk football, nothing that I haven't said about what this team does football wise has been incorrect. I brought up the Miro comment about not being able to come off his first read where he needs to improve from since the Middle Tennessee State game. You all were sold on Miro after Middle Tennessee State game. You all were getting mad at me because I said before the season, if Ty Simpson had an opportunity in that Middle Tennessee State game because of Miro's inability to progress in the passing game, that he would take the head. So don't come at me as if I never criticized Miro. We've been very critical of Miro, but his progression this whole season is what I've been amazed about. You don't see a guy. Jalen Hurts didn't even progress this much during his year as a starter, his first year as a starter. That you don't see this type of progression. So my thing is, it was going to be, and that was the amazing part about his progression. At what point were we going to see it peak? It had to peak. There was no way he was going to get it all within 1 year. Name a quarterback that did. Bryce Young didn't.
Shout out Al Sanders.
Lamar Jackson, who he's being compared to, he didn't get it in that first year. He came on the scene, and then that second year, Lamar just took off because he had more time to develop. He had a little bit more. He had some games under the speed of the game slowed down. So coming into that second season, the offense was his. The offense wasn't being made for him. It was his that second year. So definitely don't sleep on Miro. But to see where he is now, it's a good thing he has these levels he can work from now. He has goals that he can gauge from. Because tonight, man, you don't have to look at another game to see where you need to grow from, Miro. Because the same thing you struggle with against doggone Georgia, you literally came into this game and struggled again against Michigan. And honestly, Michigan didn't even trust their guys to play, man. They played you zone. This is something that you've been working since you were in middle school, playing quarterback, reading cover 2, cover 3. Those basic concepts. Knowing when to check down when you walk 6 in the box. 6 down to the line of scrimmage. So I would hate for you all to start taking a lot of the takes and trying to jump on them. Go back and really listen before you start talking crazy, because I don't want to be the one that puts you on and then you be like, I don't want to talk football no more. I like talking football for a reason. And that's the reason why I talk football.
Did you catch the Daquan's?
Yeah, I'm about to get to it now. We got super chats from my boy Daquan Menzie, the GOAT, number 24. Mr. Menzie himself, national champ. Should have stayed with the run game. Jason Haynes were cooking. Defense played too many snaps. No excuse. They whooped us and did nothing special. I wish you could have been.
Thank you.
I wish you could have went in the chat.
I should read it again.
$5 super chat. Pre-snap communication was terrible. Linebackers and defensive backs, no push calls or box calls. Literally, boundary corners not doing their job when the linebackers passing off routes to them. Professionally certified hater. Anger aside, still a great year from the USF performance to beat in Georgia. Needs to make Miro of a vertical threat and not just short passes next year. I think you meant to say it the opposite way around. We need to make Miro understand the short game, then trying to force the deep ball. Because that early on, he forced those 2 deep balls to Burton and Law for what? Why? You got knee black and man. If there was an emotional transfer that happened this offseason, it'll probably be knee black. An emotional transfer. If you look at how many times that guy had been looked off since the Auburn game, streaking across Miro's face in the middle of the field, if somebody transferred out of emotion because they wasn't getting the looks that they thought they deserved, it would be him, because it was so many times he just opened in front of Miro's coming across the middle of the field. And Tommy Reese has to scheme that open. It's not just, I don't think that's a player making play. That's a player doing his job 100% and quarterback not doing his part. So appreciate the super chat, y'all.
Let me say this real quick. I wish we had stuck with Justice Haynes a little more. Justice Haynes, no disrespect to Jace, I love Jace, but Justice, that jump cut, man, and if you play defense, you know those run, Daquan, you know those backs that can put their foot in the ground, get up field, turn their shoulders north, east, and west, and get up field, north and south, and get up field. Justice, man, I feel like if we had just fed him a little more, we was moving down the field. We stopped running and start. To me, it's like, Tommy, if we have a negative run play, it's like he got shook and started wanting to throw the ball.
When that was what was working. That's the reason why we were giving up. That's why we were even up, was because of the run game. It was because of the exotic looks that we were giving.
And it wasn't just Justice though, man. It was like when you put the offensive line in position to handle those one-on-one. Anytime you made a formation to where they had to go head up, our offensive line did decent, man. And like you said, I was talking to Jay. It was like you could watch the whole game. Booker to get beat 2 plays, and then he'll have a excellent play. But we not running it up the gap. Milroe's keeping the ball for what? Hand the ball off, Milroe. And so in the what it was, the fourth quarter. I think it was the fourth quarter. Jay, you talked about Booker getting beat on that one play. Then they turned around and got a first down off of Jay's run right at the same gap.
It was up and down. It was up and down.
But
it was mainly in pass pro. But then run situations where we just straight up head up, he would win. And
but in that same situation, that same drive, you get a ball off up that gap where Booker wins, and then you go away from it the next 2 plays. When you like, that's what I'm saying with Tommy Rees and that young mindset when it comes to play calling. I was curious, and we said this. I was curious to see how he handles the big time. He needed out of all the coaches, he was my one that I said need to have the big time. I said Kevin Steele would have the big game, but Coach Rees would definitely need to have the big game in order for this team to win as far as his play calling. And he early on, it took too long to adjust, man. It was never a time where I was confident in Milroe dropping back early in the game while that D-line was fresh. After that first pass and play, I was not comfortable with it. Go ahead, bro.
Adam, it's all good, brother. It's all good. I got a number of love and respect for you. It's all good. Ain't nothing changed, bro. I respect your opinion to the fullest, and you right about a lot of that. It's all love, bro. We brothers. It's all that we Bama fam, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, we're all angry, all pissed off.
Yeah, and let me say, where was it? Coach Al just made a very, very good point. I can't find it, Coach Al, but what Coach Al said was Jalen Milroe wasted 2 years under Bill O'Brien. So if you don't see the progression that you think you should see, think about that. I mean, this guy Bill O'Brien, did he really coach him up at all? Maybe not. DeQuan Menzie, $5 super chat said pre-snap communication was terrible. Exactly. Between linebackers and defensive backs. No push call. I said no push call. No push call or box call at all. At all. And do you not think Michigan saw that? Facts, DeQuan Menzie. 1,000 facts.
Do y'all not remember after what game that was when Arnold, they kept motioning Arnold across the field and they just kept dumping it off to the guy that was motioning? It's like it's hard to cover that. And we talked about this. Dude, is Arnold that good that Coach Saban trusts him? But sometimes it's not even about a player being good. It's just about being smart and doing the thing that makes sense, that makes it easier on your defense to be in position and be athletes. The bump, the push call, and the box call ain't nothing but when you see, like we said, Kool-Aid, you're the boundary corner. You're basically the third safety at that point. The formation where they scored and they dragged it across, you're a safety. You don't have a split receiver out there. Why are you even looking inside? You're support. You're not even edge support as far as containing the run. The safety that's inside of you helps on that edge support. He's supposed to be crashing inside. You have anything over top in the boundary. So why are you following a wide receiver that's not even split to the boundary? He's tight on the formation. Why are you following him across the formation? That for the life of me, I could not. And I sat there and I watched it and I didn't even get mad, y'all. I started laughing. I said, Kool-Aid is really like following this guy across the field. And then Key sitting at the top of the formation. Why are you getting lost in the backfield every play? Every play. Your eyes are this kid
had Christian Story out there, man.
He's backpedaling and his eyes are getting lost in the backfield. Why are you not getting back to your zone, your depth, getting your depth, trying to find the route that's coming to your area, trying to, man, it's just, I don't know, man.
Let me give some love, though. Let me give some love to 96, Tim Keenan. Tim Keenan was in a horrible position. I don't think people know how it is, man, to put your hand in the dirt and have people on both shoulder pad, have dudes on each side of your shoulder pad coming. That, you know, that's a grown man position that boy play. You know, all the people who play this game know Tim Keenan is a young dude, and he was in that joker. Tim was fighting, bro. I'm telling you, Tim Keenan held his own tonight. Tim Keenan is gonna be a monster, right? Shout out to Tim Keenan, man. That boy's a beast, straight up, man. He's a beast. Man. Justin Bovey played well too. Shout out to him too.
Travis, we talked about this earlier. It probably wasn't last stream, but this pre-snap motion with the offensive play calling, this game it wasn't as important as far as the success in the run game. But when you talking about the defense having issues getting the pass game, the downfield pass game going, pre-snap motion to help you because when you do that, you get to see is the safety walking down to play match zone or is you get what I'm saying? You don't necessarily get a coverage look, but you get as far as alignment, you could kind of guess and kind of project what they're going to be in. So if you go back and look at our game film, this game, Kobe Print is coming across and they ran the pass play. If we have any type of backside protection, you check the running back to help you with that coverage. That's another big play. But even without the protection, Miro has to get that ball out faster, man. That motion was causing the safeties to and that weak side corner. They was bailing out playing like this deep third, man, like 18, 20 yard depth. And you trying to tell me you can't find nothing underneath that, Miro? It was a bad showing for a quarterback that's been going through the type of progression that he has this season to peak like that and to for it to get exposed like that. I think that's where I'm at with it. Not that Miro is a bad quarterback or anything, but to peak like that and to get exposed like that with obvious options right there in front of your face. Like I said, knee black, man. If I'm arguing, if we having, coming to blows, it's me, Miro and knee black, man. He missed the boy early, multiple times, man. Multiple times.
Catch that super chat with the Quan.
Yeah, I seen it. Let me see. Okay. If the receiver splits are too close, I'm making in and out calls off rip to the linebacker, safety, or other corner. It makes everyone's job easier. And you saw the linebackers yelling it. You saw the Campbell and Lawson literally, it was like they was doing monkey see, monkey do. They saw the linebacker coming up. The running back crossing formation, they started passing it off already. And Kool-Aid's not looking inside at all. He's locked on his man for what? There wasn't even a man call on that formation. We got a super chat from AJ. He said, Coach J, Coach SPH, who's your QB for next year?
I mean, for me, it'd be Jalen until somebody beat him out. I mean, I can't supplant him just because he had a bad game, right?
I would say Jalen is probably going to be the starter. I will say this, AJ. If we're not seeing any major progression from Jalen Murrow by the time we get to like week 4, week 5, then I think we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because I hate to say it, Jalen Murrow would literally be Jalen Hurts from 2017, where you thought he was going to take the next step, you thought he was going to take the progression, and we had a younger kid in Tua Tagovailoa who outplayed him in spring camp, who outplayed him during the fall camp, who when he had his moments and had his time, outplayed him in those in-game situations, but we stuck with Jalen Hurts because he won us a lot of football games, and we relied on his running game and leadership. That's why. So that's something I will tell AJ. If he does not get good in the first half of the season, we need to have that conversation, and I think Nick Saban should consider potentially replacing him. But
so what I will say, I thought that was going to be what Ty Simpson brought to the table this year. Honestly, I thought that's the situation we was going to have with Miro before first game, even after the Middle Tennessee State game. I thought it would be multiple situations where Simpson got the opportunity and would just always be like in the question. Buckner coming in kind of messed that up. But next year, of course, Miro's coming back. He's going to be the starter. But I don't want people to jump on Sayings back too early. I don't think Alabama, even their progression for his future, I don't think they're investing in him starting next year. I think if with the showing tonight, Ty Simpson comes back and gets back in the QB conversation as far as the competition goes, and who's to say, man? Him another year he'll have just as many years under Reese as Jalen did, and we clearly see Ty Simpson has the passing game. It was never a question about his ability to pass the ball. It's always been what's going on above the shoulders as far as mentally with the game, how he's processing things. And Miro got to do better in order for him to hold on to that job. Because you could deal with Ty, slinging that thing with the quick, and he gonna sling it. He processes better. He comes out of a system. He comes up in that type of training. So yeah. Shout out to Dougie Fresh. He said Miro coming back better like Kobe in 2008. Fuel. Man, I hope so. I believe he can, man. Mm-hmm. I believe he can. He has the makeup. I mean, it's not like he's just trash, but man, to have that type of showing on the biggest stage of the season, man, you don't expect that, man. You don't expect that.
I need Justice Haynes to get more carries.
He needs to be the starting running back.
It's a whole
It's not even just about the carries.
Started.
He needs to be the starting running back.
He started.
Question.
Did you not see the lineup he brought out with him and Jam?
Yeah,
That's your one. 1A is Justice, 1B is Jam, and
Justice Haynes is different than any back on this roster, bro. Jam is good. He breaks stuff to the outside, but the thing I would say he need to get better at. Jam don't run between the tackles very effective. You know what I mean? One tackle, you can tell he need to get strong on the lower body. Justice is different, bro. That kid is different. You know what I mean? That acceleration from the time he get upfield is different, right?
you know who Jam give me vibes for? He's bigger, but he give me Darren Sproles type vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like the way he can get out in space and scat on the perimeter. You know, and people don't give even Warwick Dunn. If you remember how Warwick Dunn used to play, that's what Jam Miller give me vibes for. Justice though, and Ty Hayes said this a long time ago, and if you watch Emmitt Smith in college and how he transpired in the NFL, you're gonna see faster Emmitt Smith out of Justice Haynes. Go back and watch Emmitt Smith coming out of college, man, and man, you'll be like, okay, I could see, and he's bigger than Emmitt was coming out of that. I mean, and he's only a true freshman. This is a true freshman that could have been contributing just like Caleb Downs has in the run game because he's that good. And then y'all see Richard Young was out there too. Richard Young got snaps in the game, so I felt like when Saban started doing that, that's when I thought that the momentum would change. Honestly, when I seen Justice out there, I was like, okay, that's when I was like.
Yeah, I'm about to say as much as we're gonna give Jam and Rodell, they're gonna be the talks of the town. It easily could be Justice and Richard. That could be your next two guys for next year. I think there's gonna be a big competition for next season. It won't just be a starter running back. It will be for number 2, RB3. I think there'll be a complete situation because I'm gonna be honest with you. Besides even with Jace, I don't think there was a clear-cut guy. There just wasn't. There wasn't that clear-cut running back this year or running backs that's been a part of the rotation. I think there should be a competition. And I think that, honestly, it could be easily Justice and Richard Young that could be your top 2 guys. Because when I watch Jam, when I watch Rodell, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't see it. Like, I see some good aspects of their game, but I see them as situational players.
Yeah,
I don't
spellbacks.
Yeah, spellbacks. I don't really see them as those next level type guys. I mean, we've had great rotational guys. We've had Damian. I mean, I remember back in 2018, we had Damian, Josh, and Josh Nige, 3-headed monster. A lot of people forget about it because how we lost the national championship game, but we had a 3-headed monster full of RB1s, and that in each and every single one of them had to. Josh Jacobs, who went top 15 that year, had 400 rushing yards.
Start.
He was the third string running back.
Harris was the starter that year.
And then
third string back.
Not even that group. Think back to the Lacey Yeldon and was it Scarborough or who was with that group?
No,
Lacey,
it was
Richardson. Richardson, Lacey, and Yeldon?
It wasn't Flower. It was it wasn't
Fowler. It wasn't Fowler. I'm talking about after that though. It had to be Richardson, Lacey,
Drake.
Okay, yeah, Drake. People forget Drake ended up going, and Drake he was not third string guy. They had Drake almost about to move to slot receiver. That's how deep the running back room was, and he was just. So I could definitely see Jam filling that type of position. But man, Reese, when you talk about this run game, we said that would be a key, bro. And this run game was not the fail point of tonight's offensive struggles, man. We could have literally leaned on the run game and slowed the game down some more. I think it would have presented a lot better opportunities. I don't know why we got away from it, especially after the offensive line. Offensive line was doing good in the run game, bro. The offensive line was doing good. They was actually doing good in the run game. And I don't know, man. The pick and pull play, we should have saw that at least 2 more times, bro. With the tackle and guard pulling from the weak side. Coach Sean highlighted that play about them going to the opposite side, and they pulled that play the first drive of the season. Yeah. But you know what? This is why I don't blame the defense because they couldn't run it again. The second time they ran it, McCarthy ran into traffic, and they had to settle for a 2-yard gain, 1-yard gain, whatever they had. But the offense, we go out there and we get the same play design, get effective yardage, and then we go away from it. Like Reese, that young mindset is like he almost felt like he was on a video game, man. It's all good though. It's all good. He's gonna grow from this.
Shout out to Al Sanders. I think so too, Al, as far as Otis, because I watched on Michigan on that 4th and 1. They ran right, man. They wiped him clean, man. It's like he wasn't even on the line. I watched number 9. They erased him on that play, bro. Whoever that left guard was,
That's their
smacked him,
backup
bro.
guard. That's
Yeah.
their
That
backup
cat,
player. That's not even Zach Zenner. Can you imagine if
he
Zach Zenner played today?
he smacked him, bro. I'm talking about wiped him off the line of scrimmage like he wasn't even there. It's just the truth. I even rewinded on DVR to see the watch. I started to send it to you in film, but I was like, bro, you got to get them dudes their credit, man. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. When you get beat in a football game, you got to give credit what credit's due.
My question is, man, with the lack of Otis and Keenan combination inside, what type of factor was that? Not having those guys. Apparently Otis got nicked up during practice this week. Getting ready for getting ready for the playoff game. Wasn't 100%. He was 100% getting to Cali. Somehow another got nicked up. The practices getting there, but we talked about the presence of Keenan, but man, I just wish we would have had the presence of Otis. That was the difference, man. I don't care what you say, Latham, Perry. I mean, not Perry, but Latham, Payne, Boygby. Those guys played. Smith. They played decent, man. But you can tell that Keenan and Otis, consistent presence on that front is definitely missed. So hopefully that's something that we could work on in the offseason. We got LT Overton coming in. James Smith and those guys, they'll be coming up, stepping up, getting opportunities. You got guys the likes of Keon Keeley going to the edge, Yanzi Pierre, Kendrick Blackshire. Hopefully he sticks around and is able to provide some more depth in whatever position in the linebacker room. Defensive tackle though, defensive ends definitely gotta work on being athletic. We got to start getting those true book ends again, man. That can really get pressure, because that's what this defense is used to. The secondary definitely failed us tonight on a few key plays, like I said, at the safety. But overall, man, this defense, they held it about as good as they could. Offense got to play better.
Coach Cruz, what's up, Gil? You 1,000% correct, bro. Tommy, it wasn't this game, bro. And I'm gonna say this, man. And it's just my eye. I could be wrong, just like anybody else. I ain't as high on Amari D. Black as others is. The dude ain't showed me nothing. I'm just gonna keep it real. He can't block. And what pissed me off, I didn't even see a willing to block. I seen one time he just stood there. If all you're gonna do is catch passes, bro, go play wide receiver. Because in Saban offense, if you can't block, they not gonna throw you the ball.
You're not even gonna be able to play wide receiver. You see what happened?
I don't see what all this. He got potential. We all know that, great potential. But if you're gonna play inline tight end like that, you can't be split out all the time, right? If you're gonna go to the NFL, tight ends that can't block play wide receiver, right? And if you can't play wide receiver, you gotta play tight end. You gotta be able to block, bro. You gotta be able to block. It's too many games I've seen this guy just with a willingness just not to block. Just I'm not gonna block, whatever. So it is what it is.
I love to see this though, man, because we talk about mental toughness and all that nature. I don't care how many times you get looked off as a receiver. As a quarterback, you run your route first of all, but when it's time to block, that one me and Coach Jay, we was snapping. Milroe had already made a decision to run. He pointed at a guy, telling knee black block, pointed at the guy,
and he wouldn't do it
4 times.
He just wouldn't do it
4 times, bro. Literally extended the play another 7 or 8 yards before knee black finally was like, "I'm open." No, you're not open. Turn around and make the play. That's why I like with Oos is out there, Dupree out there, their team players. We talked about this though. Knee black would have to be an X factor. I can understand you getting frustrated by being looked off, but man, you gotta finish the job, man. And I won't say he's a Billingsley because it was 1 or 2. It was 1 or 2 times I saw Bryce about to go off on Billingsley. So you get Bryce rattled about to go off on you. Knee black is a thing of from a wide receiver standpoint, and this is me being a wide receiver and knowing how the mentality of a wide receiver. He's a receiving tight end, big guy. I can understand the frustration, but I've never quit on a quarterback, in the middle of a play. Practice during the week, might give it to him every now and then, talking trash, we might make jokes and all this, but in the game, nah, bro, not giving up on my quarterback like that. That's not a good look. So definitely hated to see that because That was a key play of the game, key play in turning point in the game too. Miro, he blocks that guy. Miro gets the first down. We extend that drive. That's in the second quarter. So we'd love to see that. Ray Parham, isn't the center the one who makes the blocking calls pre-snap? He should identify who's blitzing and slide protections over accordingly. Sell just sucked tonight in addition to his poor snaps. That's Ray Parham with the $10 super chats. Roll Tide. I think it's on the center and the quarterback, honestly. Because centers only addressing what's inside that his gap in the guards. You know, Miro's supposed to tell him what the perimeter is called. You know, it's a 2-level system as far as deciphering pass pro. When you check to the run, it's literally directional gap. You know, you got gap assignment, pull assignment, whatever. But I don't know. What's y'all take on that? That super chat right there, fellas.
I mean, when I look at Seth, I looked at Seth, and I am, I never played center, but from what I see with Seth is against teams that put a lot of pressure on him, especially his gaps, the team that really work him, he's trying to hurry up and center the ball so he can get up. It's almost like he never played center. I know that's not true, but Seth has some bad habits that he hadn't gotten rid of yet, and you can say what you want, but Jalen Miro and his athleticism is the reason why we don't have more bad snaps, because every one of those snaps were practically on the ground. Jalen had to go down, pick it up. That's not a snap, man. That's not a snap, So they going to, I don't know what it is. It seems to me when he's getting whipped, he can't get out of his stance and hike the ball fast enough. So he's just trying to throw it back there so he can hurry up and get out of it, especially on his pass set. You know what I mean? So I don't know what you do with that. Go under center more. I don't know, man, because this is the 14th game, 13th, 14th game, and it's still happening. So, at that point, what do you do, man? As a coach, I don't even know how what you teach that, because I've never taught offensive line. I just know when he getting worked, he's always done that. Hike the ball any kind of way, So that tell me you getting worked on the offensive line, on the D line is working you, and you trying to hurry up and get out because you see that a lot of times from young offensive line when they're trying to get into a pass set and they're late, you know what I mean? Especially at that center position. But most centers I've been around, they always take a look down right before they hike it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Seth. I don't know, man, but that hurt us big time. The offense as a whole. Again, I'm not blaming just Jalen Miro. I'm blaming the entire offense. But I will not lie to you, like Jalen Miro had a good game. When the plays were there, he didn't make them. When the plays were there to have, Tommy Reese made some horrible calls. The offensive line got beat up in a lot of plays. And when they didn't get beat up and somebody had a breakdown, Tyler Booker, who's been consistent, he missed several key blocks. I think 55 whipped him tonight. If I had to say, love to Tyler, but I think if he's a real man, he'll tell you himself. 55 gave me a little bit more than I can handle.
70-30 to 55. If you're talking about out of 100, 70-30 to 55.
Mason Graham and Chris Jenkins whipped his ass.
Did the layoff hurt? I don't know, right? I don't know. All I know is the defense, for all their mishaps, guys, they played well enough for us to win this football game. Yeah. You cannot. Bottom line is the same thing I've been saying all year, and I'll be done with it. You cannot, bro. Third down is the money down. I spoke on this, bro, how we handle third down. I swear to God, I said that so many times. We play terrible on third down, bro. And usually against good competition, that's where you lose. Period.
They're 3 for 13 on third down conversions, guys.
Oh my God.
Third and all those third downs, the 10 of the 13 the third downs were third and passing. So my thing is, what happened to that efficiency? Like, that's to be honest, statistically, that's where Alabama made their money off of this season. Third and passing. Had the second highest completion percentage in third and passing the seventh highest completion percentage in third and passing in the nation. So my thing was, when you saw that they were getting the pressure, Reese, why did you go away from what was working? Even in third and pass, you had a running back in Jason McClellan who was averaging 9.8 yards at half. I think he had 8 carries in the first half, 9.8 yards off of carries. or some crazy number. So you go and you going away from your run game that's popping off these 5s and these 9s and these. You got true freshmen coming in dropping 12 yards a carry. Like, what happened to bully ball? This offensive line did their job in the run game. You know, we've been harking on the negatives. Let's talk about what they did do. When it was time to run the zone scheme, we ran a solid zone scheme run game. The perimeter run game, stretch plays, they even though 4 or 5 of them resulted in negative plays, they were still moving the defense like what you need to do. I think as Tommy Rees grows as an offensive coordinator, as a coach in general, the older he gets, the more games he coaches, he'll do what we said, what we questioned he would possibly would struggle with. Which coach would struggle with first? Sticking with the plan and letting things play out how they're supposed to. If you look at that film today, Alabama stick with the run game like Ohio State should have did against Michigan when they played them. If Alabama stick with the run game, it's a different game. How do you not watch the Ohio State game and not learn from that? They gave us the same problems they gave Ohio State. Their front created all the momentum in the game for them. They offense didn't do nothing great. They made 3 or 4 big plays during the game, and their defense handled the game for them because they stuck with what they do. We just couldn't get out our own way tonight, and it came back to bite us.
And one of the things I talked about on Wednesday that I got criticized for a lot of you Bama fans, I told you that we cannot play into Michigan's hands. And I told you that front seven was going to make that game for them. I said it. I said that front seven, if Jalen Miro can't beat them with his arm, that front seven is going to win them the game. That offense, for the most part, J.J. McCarthy, I said it. There's a reason why he's considered a first-round prospect for a lot of people, right? Not saying he's one of the 5 or 10 best quarterbacks. It's because of his prospect, because he can make big-time throws in crucial moments, in crucial situations. As much criticism as we give J.J. McCarthy, he's efficient, and he will complete passes in crucial moments, in crucial situations. He is more of a threat, all-around threat in those crucial moments, especially when you're playing against a defense that can play a little off balance here and there. J.J. McCarthy was more of a threat, and I talked about it, and I got criticized from a lot of you Bama fans out there. But guess what happened? J.J. McCarthy, in the fourth quarter, made the more crucial plays with his arm. And Jalen Miro, for the most part, and it's not just Jalen Miro, but this entire offense, Ty Reese, Jalen Miro, offensive line, receiving core, they let this front seven keep them in the game. They let them in the game. And a lot of it was our fault because it was penalties, it was turnovers on our side. But I told you, I said that front seven was going to win them the game. I said that front seven was lethal. Screw Big Ten play. Screw it. Because we all know their offense is not that good. But I told you that Michigan defense was for real. Our offensive line played great. Georgia, I told you, Georgia was not the same Georgia team that we played that from 21 or 22. This is a different Georgia team. Still a really good defense, but I told you that Michigan was better. And their defense, for the most part, guys, they were fresh. They were fresh. They kept rotating 2, 3, 4 dudes in. They were fresh. So
I will say this. I want you to continue, but I will say this, bro. In the late in the second quarter, and when the third quarter came out, and before the 2 bad snaps, our offensive line started imposing that will, both pass pro and because the style of the play calling changed. You saw the quick screen, you saw the extended run game, like all of these things were happening. What you need to do against strong fronts. Why do we go away from it?
Why did we go away from the tempo? Remember, we were at a little bit of tempo on the one drive that almost set up as a scoring position. That's what stopped them from rotating. They couldn't get their rotation in like they normally did because we ran a little off tempo. Why did we go away from that? It's just some of the things that we just get away from that pisses me off the more I'm thinking about it, man.
And we're fans and see this. You get what I'm saying, Coach? I probably was jumping on your comment, Coach Sean, but we're fans and see this. My thing is, you're sitting up in that booth, Coach Reese, and you've been doing. Like you do well. It's like we used to ask the same thing about Coach O'Brien. We used to call Bill O'Brien, like, wonder what he was doing, but it was just all his play calling was off. You never understood why he was calling what he was calling, But with Reese, it was like tonight you go 2 drives in a row where 6 out of the 7 plays that were ran, you running the perfect play, or 4 out of it. Just like you said, man, it's frustrating. I'm looking at some of the plays now. It's like even alignment with the offensive front. soon as we came with 12-man personnel, letting the H sit off the line behind the tight end, that threw Michigan's alignment off. They had to go head up, and that's what gave your offensive line, who was struggling, the advantage. All their head up matchups, they handled them solid. We just gave them opportunities to not be head up, to play gaps, line up in gaps. Like, it's crazy, man.
Dominic Wesley said, Sean, please, I'm begging you, please tell me what happened on the last play of the game. Why did we run up the gut? Man, Dominic, listen. Bro, out of everything they could have ran, why would you test Michigan's middle where we hadn't had but 5% success all game long? I don't know. I would have rather had him on the perimeter using his speed, trying to zone, letting some receivers try to get some isolation blocks out on the perimeter. I would have tried to do that. Going up the middle, I don't know what that was, trying to run behind Seth. I don't know, because we got stymied, right? We lost that rep bad. Also, Al Sanders said, Coach Sean, Seth is not an athlete. He doesn't have fast hands. This is what a center has to have. Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. Al, you 1,000% correct. I love to get Al and Gil both on at the same time. Yeah. That's facts, man. That's facts. That young man, and again, man, I ain't dissing none of y'all players, bro. I'm just telling you what I humbly see. This is JMH, or this is just my humble opinion. I don't mean I'm right. You got to give credit where credit's due, bro. You know what I mean? Coach Jay hit the nail on the head when what he just said. He said it. He pushed the narrative all week, all month about those guys up front, right? And they beat us up front. That's why they won the game at. Our offensive line didn't help themselves quite a bit the first half, none the entire first half. But I hadn't seen Tyler Booker lose reps like that consistently all year long. Not since early in the season. I get credit where credit's due, man. Tommy Reese didn't put Jalen in a good position, right? And when he did put Jalen in a good position, when we did have the right play called, we most of the time couldn't hit it, right? And Michigan didn't respect us. They didn't respect our pass game, and they played us as such. They did just what I would have done if I played Alabama. I clearly said earlier today, if I was Michigan, this is what I would do. And they did that. They did that up front. They played that coverage on the back end. They didn't make us do anything out of the ordinary. They didn't do nothing special. They just beat us, bro. And that's just what it is. But I will say this, man. We got to get better. It's just like Coach Jay said, I think, or Coach Smoot, one of them said, the conference is getting tougher next year, right? We got Texas coming. We got Oklahoma coming. Fast-paced offenses, a lot of talent. We got to get better, man. If I'm Jalen Milroe, just speaking to Jalen, you had a great season, young man. I respect you. You my starting quarterback until you lose it, right? I don't, you had a bad game, right? But it's not just you. Your line didn't do you no favors. Your offensive coordinator didn't do you no favors, right? You didn't do yourself no favors. Your tight ends outside of Oots, I ain't even gonna say Trey DePriest. I seen him, not Trey DePriest, but
CJ
Dupree. Yeah, CJ. I seen him getting hip tossed a couple times. 45 was the only one I seen that was absolutely burying folks. 45 he need to start from now on, from period, right? Jalen need to work on his intermediate ball to shallow crossing ball. He need to work on his vision downfield. And I don't mean deep ball downfield. I mean from hash mark to sideline, from hash mark to hash mark to sideline, middle of the field, deep thirds, both. You need to look at that, brother, because I don't know if y'all know this, but every good defense is starting to play us the same, right?
Yep.
Every good defense that we face is starting to do the same things to us, and we it's all good to play a great Georgia team and get a first down with a shovel pass that you didn't mean. That's not going to happen every week. I said that. That's a once in a game type thing. It's not going to happen every week, right? I give Michigan credit because they obviously went back and watched some of our game where we failed. That first half against Tennessee, how they played us. They took bits and pieces of what gave Jalen problems, right? And they did that. And you got to give them credit for that, man, because that was my fear. Our offense is not so great to where we was going to be. That's why when y'all was talking about 45 points and 30, I'm like, man, that ain't going to happen. We're not that good offensively to score that, bro. We're not that good on offense to go out and score those kind of points on people, right? It's just the truth. We're not. So I knew Jalen's legs, our run game, maybe hit a deep shot to Burden. I was hoping Burden would go off, right? But they wanted to keep everything in front of them. Several teams have played us like that and almost had success. We almost lost to Auburn playing that type of stuff, man. So we got a lot of things we can improve on, bro. But I will not take away from what this team has done. This team is not the most talented Alabama team. I won't tell that lie like they are. And I do believe in Link because, again, we're what, 13 and 12 and 2. Well, I guess what is it, 12 and 2, 13 and 2, whatever it is.
12 and 2.
12 and 2. For us to lose to Texas, a playoff team who could win the national championship, and for us to lose to Michigan, a playoff team who could win the national championship. Hey, brother, I'll take it. I'll take it. Jalen Milroe will be back next year. 3 or 5 offensive linemen should be back next year. All the receivers minus Burden will be back next year. So, hey, man, the sky's the limit. I'll take it. Michigan had a great season. Hope you guys go and do what you're supposed to do, right? But you have not seen the last of Bama. You know what I mean? You have not seen the last of Bama, man. That's just what it is. Shout out to Mike Fort. Shout out to Carlos. You know, shout out to all the Michigan fans. Y'all did it. Y'all beat us. Handle your business now.
And I'll just say this: my expectation, and I've been saying this since we started doing this. My expectation was 11-2. I didn't think we were going to even get to the playoffs. I thought we were going to lose to Georgia in the SEC championship game. I thought, for the most part, I thought Texas was probably the one game that I thought we were going to lose. I thought probably LSU was going to win the game again. So they, in a way, exceeded my expectations. I thought this team could potentially win a national championship. I thought Michigan was the perfect matchup for this team. And in cases it looked right, and in cases it looked wrong. But it is what it is. Like Coach Sean said, congratulations to all the Michigan fans. They did a hell of a job. Carlos, Mike Ford, a lot of you Michigan guys out there. A lot of you guys just did an incredible job, and we'll see what you guys can do. Texas, Washington, that's a hell of a game right now. So we'll see what happens. Who's going to be the winner of that? But it just sucks, man. It sucks. It sucks at the end of the day that we did not play our best game. That we just the same crap that we saw. That's what hurts. That we just did not play our best game. We came out flat-footed. Offensively, we couldn't make the right adjustments until the second half. We got away from what worked. We got away from what worked best. And then Jalen Milroe, once again, it's just the same crap that we just keep spewing that he just has to improve on. And I'm a believer in Milroe. I think he can do it. But just like how, to AJ's point, I'm going to keep saying this, man. If he does not get better next season, man, we need to look in a different direction. I'm not about to go. I do not want to go through the Jalen Hurts crap that we did in 2017. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to wait until a national championship game or even a playoff next year until we have to switch to a backup formation. He's got to get better. He's got to get better if we want to try to win a national championship.
My final statements, man. I'm gonna address a few. All y'all people doubting Miro, don't come here with that. Cause 3 weeks ago, y'all was all on this shit. Yeah, I just want y'all to scroll through the comments, man. Look at these folks come. Like, literally, I remember some of y'all names. Miro's become great. Give Miro the Heisman. I mean, it's a loss, man. It happens. They schemed well. I told y'all. Hold on. I check Mike. And I told y'all earlier, man, this would be a year where we're not going to see this type of development from any other quarterback. No other quarterback is going to have this gauges these levels of a development in 1 year. We didn't see Jalen Hurts have this type of development. Coach Saban already admitted to, how him and that coaching staff handicapped. And we saw a project happen this year, kind of like a redo of what we didn't get to do with Jalen Hurts. And this is what happens, man. Milroe progressed at a faster rate than most. Did he get to the point where he was able to be a championship caliber quarterback? No, we knew. I said it. This defense, this might just be the team that the defense has to lean on. This might be a team that has to lean on the defense. There's nothing wrong with that. We've won national championships with a team like that. It's just in the past, you've had game managers that knew how to pick their spots and capitalize on opportunities when the defense gave us those extra opportunities. And this offense this year shows signs of possibilities to be explosive. They showed, tendencies where they could be great. It's just a young offense, like somebody else said. It's a young offense. They're gonna grow, but you definitely hate to see this type of showing in the biggest stage of the season to this point. But hats off to those guys for working. I didn't see anybody quit. We saw a couple of uncharacteristic things happen, but this team didn't quit. To go and to lose to our two losses, like you said, Coach Sean, our two losses is to two playoff teams this year. It ain't like we lost to a Tennessee that, wasn't in any type of contention or a LSU that wasn't. These are two losses where, Texas is in there. They're in a dogfight for themselves right now. And Michigan, they had to go to overtime to beat us. I'm not hanging my hat on any of that, but to fall short like that, I don't know what other motivation you need to come back and want to prove yourself. So, Miro, y'all could keep taking all these shots at Miro, talking about what he was able to do and what he wasn't able to do. Miro, first year under Tommy Rees, this is about it. This is about as best you can expect. And I'm with Coach Sean. I mean Coach Jay. I didn't expect this much from Miro when we made the decision to make him a quarterback. Now his growth gave me a lot of hype. Who wouldn't believe in what he was doing, man? This kid goes out and beat A&M with his arm, turns around, plays a solid game against Mississippi State. You come to LSU, you rebound from a slow start. Go against Tennessee, same thing. You've been doing it all year, so there's no reason not to believe. And Carlos, yeah, I'm definitely gonna give you the screenshots if you would have followed me before the game and stopped playing scary. He tried to play it safe, y'all. That's what he did. He didn't want to come in and talk that noise to where I could get some track, you know what I'm saying, get some real track behind it. He want to come in after they won. But I appreciate you for pulling up, man. We told you to pull up. Y'all won it fair and square. I'm not gonna be like some of these fans talking about the refs cheating. These refs were bad the whole game. One thing I will commend the refs on, there weren't many holding calls called in the trenches, but because there was a lot of holding on both sides going on, and they let them boys play. So it was about, mental toughness and playing through all that stuff. And Michigan did what they had to do to win the game. Hats off to Michigan. Hats off to Coach Harbaugh, and that Michigan staff. Like I said, but that defense, they definitely schemed up something funny for my boy Miro. And like I said, it was just one of those things where I feel like if he would have just capitalized on one of those quick reads that was there, man, one of them deep shots that he passed up, that would have settled him in. Reese gave him the QB run game early, gave him the quick dump off passes early, got him off pocket in the second quarter, moved the pocket for him. It's just it never processed for him. So with that being said, man, I'm still rocking with Murrow.
Did you get the Jamal
I'm about to run
Jones and the JVN Smith?
I'm about to run these super chats here. My boy said, talking about Javian Smith right here.
Yeah, did you get those?
We got the cornerback from USC one. This the one we was left off on. I'm sorry. I would love for Lane to come back. Boy, what? I told y'all Lane was pulling for Alabama today. That's why we lost.
Hey,
Joseph,
bro. Remember this. Next year, bro, look. Jackson Dart is back. Beckett's back at Georgia. I don't know about Texas quarterback. Nussmeier, who had a great game today, he's back. He's coming back. So the conference is going to be very, very crazy. And Ole Miss is getting better on defense, man. So with personnel, hey, man, it don't get no easier. It don't get no easier next year.
I think the team that gets the worst of it is Georgia, man. They get out to see all these quarterbacks that's coming back next year. But like you said, man, I don't think it's more so on Miro for this offseason. I think it's about Reese, who was, we acknowledged him as the quarterback coach. They say he's the one primarily working with the quarterbacks. I want to see what type of offseason development we have with the quarterback room, and how they come in processing information, because that was clearly the downfall for all the quarterbacks. Even when Buckner had his start against USF, it was like he had a problem, diagnosing, and he, to me, he was never going to be the QB. But even Ty Simpson, all of them had problems diagnosing what it was being thrown at them. So is there a new film study method that needs to be applied? Is there something, small intricacies that can be implemented to make this process a lot better as far as developing these quarterbacks? We'll see. But great season by this Alabama team, man. Definitely hate to go out on a loss like this. Yeah, I'm gonna talk my trash. I'm gonna still stand on my squad, man. I'm roll tide till I die. This ain't the first time we done lost in the playoffs or lost a big game, man. One thing for sure though, we'll be back.
Shout out to DeMarco Brooks. I appreciate that, bro. Facts.
My boy Darian McMillan in the building too. What's up, Darian? Ty Simpson really didn't have an opportunity to. Hey, I told y'all that was my take at the beginning of the season. If Ty Simpson, if Miro had came out and had a showing against Middle Tennessee State like he did against Michigan or Tennessee or any of those games where he started off struggling early, if that would have happened against Middle Tennessee State and Ty Simpson comes in and just completes, goes 10 of 12 for pass and makes a couple scrambles like he was doing, this season is a different conversation with the quarterback competition, and who's to say what's to happen next year? So I'm kind of curious to see if Ty comes back. If Ty comes back, I really think this is going to be a real competition. I think Coach Saban will be put in a position like he was with, like you said, Coach J, Tua and Jalen Hurts, and he not making that mistake twice. As much as you love a player for doing what they do, be a leader, being a great person, it's a business because Jalen could leave anytime next year and go somewhere else and get his value. That's how NIL and transfer portal has made it for these players. So you got to treat it like a business. Anything else before we go, fellas?
Yeah, let me go out here to the guy that was talking. I can't even find which one it is. To my SEC, was it John Woodson? I can't remember. If we gonna go there, John, like I explained how I felt about bowl games earlier, about people not being there. The CFP mattered. If you're gonna go there, brother, about the entire SEC versus the Big Ten, I think we've had 6 games against you guys. We're 4-2 against your conference, bro. If I'm not mistaken, LSU won, Ole Miss won, Tennessee won, Missouri won, Bama and Auburn lost. If I'm missing something, let me know. We've had 6 games and our conference won 4 of them. So if you want to go there, I told people heard me earlier. I don't put much weight into that stuff because some kids play, some don't. The college football playoff matters because it's obviously leading to the championship. But if we're just gonna go there about overall conference, right? We played 6 games against SEC versus Big Ten. The SEC has won 4 of the 6. If we go in there, so please stop. Shout out to Michigan though.
I like this comment because it's just an obvious thing. Without Miro, Bama does not win the SEC West or SEC championship. So chill, Miro haters. Get a life. That's a cold hard fact. Like,
hold on. Let me say this. Though.
I don't think Simpson would have developed behind this offensive line and those struggles early on, like Miro did. Man, it's just.
I agree with the super chat thing. Right? If somebody else had played, we wouldn't have. I agree. But I ain't gonna pull no punches. Jalen Miro didn't play well, but don't mistake me saying he didn't play well for me hating on him.
Oh, she wasn't talking at you, bro. I'm pretty sure.
I know. I'm just speaking for myself. I would never say that dude played well when he didn't. I'll tell him you didn't play well, bro. You didn't.
He know he didn't play well,
right? But I put it into perspective. Neither did your offensive line. Neither did your offensive coordinator. Your entire offense sucked tonight, and you are about 89.663% of why we lost this football game. All collective. Enough blame to go around. You left the defense hanging against a great team. They made us pay for it, and that's just what it is, guys. Roll Tide.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna close on this. I don't think it's people got to get off this narrative of players suck. I saw some comments about wide receivers. I saw some comments about, I didn't see a drop ball from any wide receivers tonight. Did you? Did we have any wide receiver drops tonight?
The scheme they ran sucked.
I'm saying it, and it to me, when you talking about pointing a finger and being accountable, I think if Jalen Miro if he was just to go and look at, like you said, Coach Sean, and this is one thing that I love to do. I love when they do this for broadcast. I love to go look at that Skyview and watch the whole game back. That's why I love YouTube TV. If you haven't got it, get you YouTube TV because you can go back and watch these plays as longer they're these shows, these things as longer they're in your playlist, your library. But you look at that Skyview. If Jalen Miro just watches the first half of that Skyview cam and looks at the amount of times where he wasn't looking in the middle of the field when they brought 6 men to the line of scrimmage to show pressure, and they sent that same pressure all 7 times they sent it. If you just take a simple look at that look, you will look and say, okay, man, I played a horrible game. And it's an easy fix. That's something that you got to talk to your wide receivers. It ain't all on the OC. Quarterbacks, the good quarterbacks go and say, hey, man, if they give us that 6-man look, again, that they walk 6 guys down on the line, I need y'all to look at me because we got to figure out who coming. I need y'all to be watching the inside on your release. I need inside releases from my number 2 receivers on both sides. Or if you got a unbalanced formation, I need an inside release from my boundary receiver. Got to get you working across formation to replace that blitz. Like, those are simple things that we got to see improve. Man, it hurts to lose, man. And shout out, like I said, shout out to Carlos, Mike Ford. Mike Ford, more shout out to you because you actually talk football. Carlos, I'm gonna send you the screenshots once you follow or whatever. Hit me up on the socials. But all the Bama fans, man, appreciate y'all for pulling up, supporting all season, every little endeavor we were engaged in, everything we were doing as a unit. Appreciate y'all for showing up, and y'all gonna continue to get content from Kyle Henderson. This ain't no one of those networks we not going offline because Bama lost. This is one of those things where I'm gonna stand 10 toes down. You know, I made some predictions. I was hype about this team. I felt like this would be a game where we would struggle early and be able to create separation. And if you look at how the game played out, there were opportunities where we should have created separation. Nobody's going to deny that. Lack of execution and just missed opportunities is where I'm gonna leave it at. So going forward, appreciate y'all, man. Coach Jay, you got anything to say before we get out here, Coach Sean?
Nah, great season. All right, let's do it. On to the next.
Facts.
Yeah, I appreciate the fans for supporting us. This is our first year kind of doing this, so I didn't even think I would even be in this sort of position. So this all couldn't happen without you guys, without your support. It was a hell of a season. We went through a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of tribulations, but this is still one of my favorite Bama teams probably ever. Even though this team couldn't win a national title, it sucks that we ended this note because we did not play our best game. But it was a hell of a ride, hell of a season. And we have a lot of ammunition coming back, and just hopefully we can take full advantage of it next year. We have a second-year offensive coordinator. We finally have a defensive coordinator that, for the most part, that knows how to take full advantage of the personnel that's being used. I still believe in Coach Saban, and of course we'll have some losses. I mean, that's I'll be surprised if the entire coaching staff is intact. But hell of a team, hell of a year, and like I said, we're not going to go away. We're going to continue to make Bama content for you guys. We're going to continue to be here, and now it's just all about getting better. Transfer portal, recruiting. It's all about just trying to get better and trying to get ready for next season, because next season is going to be a wild ride with the 12-team playoff.
Doug Fresh, I appreciate you, brother. Roll Tide to you.
Dougie Fresh, yeah, appreciate you, bro. For the super chat. Geneva House, she said $9.99. Coach, you misunderstood me. I would never call a person a hater because they said what they felt about Miro. That's your opinion. Oh yeah, and like I said, like I was telling him, we knew you wasn't coming for us. We just in general, it's been the same narrative all year, and it's the same people who really don't know football. Even Michigan fans in here talking about the win. Like, it's like when Alabama wins and my wife talks trash to whatever fan team that we beat, it don't really mean as much because she really don't know what she's talking about. So they kind of like take it with a grain of salt, but it's different when I say something, because we know, we talking football then. It's like, dang, you really saw. And that's what happened tonight. Our team got beat at the game of football at the end of the day. Donna, be curious. Appreciate you for pulling up. We've been missing you, girl.
Thank you, Donna.
In there.
Mm-hmm.
She said, thank you, coaches. Roll Tide, roll. We appreciate you.
Roll Tide,
definitely.
Donna. For real.
Roll Tide. Al Sanders always in the chat. If Ty comes back, I think he leans to the portal after spring practice. Man, that's a whole nother discussion. We got a lot of off-season things to discuss with the way this season ended. I think what's funny about this team this year, though, a lot of the narratives going into the offseason, we're going to be there whether we won or lost the national championship. So can't wait to get in. Can't wait to dive into that. And don't forget, follow everybody on their socials at Coach Smook on Twitter, on everything. Coach J, Gent716 on Twitter, and Gent Sports on YouTube, and at JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter for Coach Sean. And y'all could catch him here on YouTube here.
Oh yeah,
Man,
I'm doing my video after this game just real quick. Full on recap. So if you guys want to still watch recap stuff like that, I'll be making a long video right after this.
Hey, the same guy that predicted that Michigan would beat Bama by 10. You know, it literally took an overtime game for y'all to win, bro. Like, don't talk like y'all just. This is a reason why these teams are in the playoffs. So I stand by what I said. I told y'all what would happen if we came out and did this. Never said it was a chance that we wouldn't lose this game or whatever, but it is what it is, man. I'm one of them ones. I could talk football all day, win, lose, or draw. We can talk football. Is in the trolling. Don't get mad when we meet trolling with trolling and then try to hold us to our trolling comments to justify your trolling. Like, we lost. It is what it is. You get what I'm saying? Nah, you wasn't close at all. But anyways, with that being said, man, appreciate we was at 570, I think, in the chat at one point. We had what's up, Sean? He doing it again.
Some of these folks are crazy, bro. Like,
bro, that's why,
bro, or something. Like, you dudes just high. You gotta be. What? Look at this dude. HB98. Michigan had better coaching. Okay, only 3 5-star players. The rest of the roster is about 45% 3. Michigan got so many seniors, dudes who play. You still got players on that team that played against us in the Gator Bowl 3 years ago. What are you talking about? You know what? I'm gonna be quiet.
Washington has 2 5-stars on their team, and yet they're tied with Texas. It's 21-21. Dude, this is football, man.
It's football and
football.
Yeah,
I'm gonna shut up.
Professionally certified hater $5 super chat said some delusional Bama fans thought Buckner was better than Miro after Texas. Brockmeyer plays centers for us next year. Lots DB holds the field too. Hey, I don't think Brockmeyer is the center. From what I've been hearing is it's gonna be Ferg sliding over to that center spot. Hopefully that's a good fit for him. Played some in high school. And then this DB group, we already talked about this with the recruiting class and the guys returning. You got the likes of Trey Amos coming back. Who knows, man? After the loss like this, does Terrion Arnold turn around and come back? You know, we know Caleb Downs is back. Malachi Moore is more than likely gone. Kool-Aid's gone. Jalen Key, hopefully he's not here next year. You know, honestly, like it's just recurring thing from that guy. He made one play all year, y'all. One play, and that was Middle Tennessee State game, and that was literally an underthrown ball. He baited that. You know, that pass, but a good throwing ball that gets past his coverage. So, yeah, man, definitely interested to see what happens this offseason. And Carlos, I think that's everybody.
I said Bama would win by 7 to 10 points. That's what I said. Bama by 10. I don't have no clue what you're talking about, brother. You know,
I said Bama 30-18. And you look at how that game went, man. I don't care what y'all say, bro. Both of them drives. The score was 17. What was the score when we was it was 13-10 when we drove on them 2 drives and shot ourselves in the foot. Literally a field goal off of what my prediction would have been if we finished those drives. Literally. So I mean, you can't play the game for the players. You know, you can see things just like we see plays open for Michigan.
It's a prediction, you know.
It's a prediction, and that's why I don't get caught up in what people were saying. You were wrong, and it's you didn't. I didn't.
Sometimes you're right.
When I was right, I didn't know if it was gonna play like. I literally we make predictions, we make assessments of what's happening, and you didn't dominate on the offensive side. You didn't dominate on the defensive side. The numbers played out to be even. You just capitalized on 4th downs. The difference in the game is your 4th down conversion. We both had 1 turnover. We led in the time of possession. We led in the rush yard gain. Like the stuff you would usually go ahead.
When you take a look at the yards, I mean, when you take a look at the yards, literally their yards came from the 4th quarter. I mean, that's where they came from. They had 354 to our 288, and those yards came off of their scoring drives in the 4th quarter into overtime. That's where it came from. If you take away those sort of possessions, and all of a sudden Alabama has the total yards record by over 70 yards. So it's just it was a good game. I mean, it's just what it is. What it is. We did not lose. It's not like Michigan was up 27-3. We just came back and stormed back and tried to make it into a game. This was a back and forth game for the entirety.
Nobody scored in the third quarter. Nobody scored in the third quarter. It
was a good game.
You can't. It was, and like we all stated, and like I said, was me and you, especially Coach Jay. We talked about this. Whichever team could come out and get started early would have the best chance to win. Not necessarily, get started early, but catch a rhythm. And Michigan, they never caught a rhythm, consistently. It wasn't like they caught rhythms 3 drives in a row, but when they had good drives, they were able to produce 21 points off of those good drives. You get what I'm saying? Alabama, 14 points off of 5 good drives that we had. 2 of those drives got held by a doggone, penalties that we were self-enforced, self-inflicted wounds. And then one of them, a turnover by Miro, unfortunate, trying to make a play. Don't know why he's so loose with that ball after all the fumble issues.
That's all
even
season,
last year.
It's all season.
Even last year, though, man. Even last year, like his first game, 3 turnovers in his first start because ball security. But yeah, so those are things that you're gonna have to look at when evaluating Miro. I'm still rocking with my boy. I'm gonna still keep it honest. I would love, like I said at the beginning of the season before we kicked off against Middle Tennessee State, if Ty Simpson was to ever get an opportunity, the way this offense was called this season, the way this offensive line developed, I don't think it would have happened this year, but next year, don't be surprised if he or even Dylan Lonergan, if he puts himself in the picture, he possesses the same type of passability as Ty. But I'm curious to see how this plays out. I'm not giving up on Milroe though, man. I feel like if he can get settled in what this offense became the last 3 weeks, what it play calling wise, what it became, if he can get settled in it and see those early looks that's being thrown in his face, we not having this conversation tonight. Get what I'm saying? It's literally that small thing, bad protection or not, the hot's got to be able to be seen. So that's it from me tonight. That's it from us tonight, y'all. Shouts out to everybody that came through. Carlos, Fulton, Mike Fort, all the Michigan fans in the chat. Congrats to y'all on winning the Rose Bowl first round, defeating us. Hats off to y'all. Good game. DeMarco Brooks, Richard, all my people pulling up HB98. All the real Bama fans. Appreciate y'all, man. Al Sanders out there. Gil in the Discord today. I like Gil's energy, y'all. I can rock with Gil. Me and Gil could definitely be on the sideline together. And y'all go hit Coach J up. It's Jant Sports. I'm gonna type it in the chat. Jant Sports on YouTube. Jant Sports.
I gotta make something.
What's up, Joey?
Yeah. Y'all go ahead and hop over there. I'm gonna be in that chat right as I come from outside. I gotta go out there and talk to Jesus real quick. Tell him about my problems, because that was definitely not the type of coach game I wanted to see. So going forward, y'all be looking out for the content, and keep Kyle in your prayers. His traveling mercy, he's traveling back from California back to Alabama, T-Town. And definitely gonna be like that. What he said, Lane, keep y'all heads up, fellas. I appreciate y'all for all month providing free entertainment. Respect. Cause I'm coming for your neck all off season. I don't care that y'all win. I promise you, bro. It don't stop here. But yeah, appreciate y'all for pulling up, supporting. As always, your boy Coach Smoot, Coach Jay, Coach Sean, your Bama YouTube coaches, Bama football on YouTube. It's been a great season. We signing off for the last time until we meet again. 12-2 Alabama SEC West, SEC champs, Rose Bowl loss. It is like this. So hey, roll tide, y'all. Roll tide. Everybody take it easy. We out.
Spin over.